I sacrificed my entire soul to detonate an SSS-rank suicide attack against the Demon King, fully accepting that my life was over. But instead of heaven or hell, I woke up in a hospital bed exactly 10 years in the past. I went from being humanity's last hope back to being the school's pathetic punching bag who gets his head dunked in toilets. But they don't know I came back with a gluttony system that lets me eat monsters and steal their abilities permanently. I have 3 years before the apocalypse starts, and I'm going to slaughter anyone who stands in my way. This is my second chance at life. Let's go back to where it all started. The year is 21T7. Humanity is on its last legs, our final stronghold getting hammered by a relentless demon army. The message is clear. The world as I know it is officially over. And this is me, C. Chen. Apparently, I'm humanity's last hope, a top-tier SSS-ranked lightning assassin. Right now, though, I'm just a guy covered in blood who can barely breathe, pushed way past my limits in a war that's already lost. This whole nightmare kicked off 7 years ago, when the Demon Kings first showed up. They turned a peaceful world into a literal hell on earth. One of the most feared leaders was Demon King Lan Yue. He's standing there now, in the middle of the burning city I failed to protect. Just a dark silhouette, a symbol of our total destruction. Lan Yu starts mocking me, calling humanity worthless trash and laughing at the idea of me being a hero. He's got that classic villain ego, looking down on me with those glowing red eyes. With power that was just completely overwhelming, the Demon Kings and their armies wiped out everything. There was no escape as they tore our world apart piece by piece. He reaches out with a glowing claw, getting ready to end things. He tells me he's about to absorb every last drop of my life essence. His power surges, creating a massive, crackling ball of dark energy. It's clear he doesn't just want to kill me, he wants to use me as a power source. The Demon King commands me to become his food as red energy swirls violently around us. In the background, I can hear the faint screams of people being consumed by this monstrous power. A massive explosion of energy fills the area with a blinding white and red light. It looks like the end, but something deep inside me is starting to fight back. I grit my teeth, refusing to let it end this way as red veins of energy pulse across my face. I groan out a single word of defiance. Images of my fallen friends, my master, and my little sister flash through my mind. I'm the only one left, and the weight of their loss is fueling one last desperate attack. This is just the beginning. I scream out that these monsters have taken everything and everyone I ever cared about. The rage in my voice feels raw, pure. Yellow lightning starts crackling around my mouth as I prepare for a suicide attack. If I'm going down, I'm taking this monster with me. My entire body begins to glow with an intense, holy white light, and an infinity symbol appears on my chest. I'm activating my ultimate skill, pouring every bit of my soul into one final strike. The screen flashes with the weight of my sacrifice. If it's for their sake, I'll do it. This isn't about survival anymore. It's about pure vengeance. I scream that I'll take him down with me as the energy hits its peak, ready to destroy everything in the area. A massive pillar of light shoots into the sky as I trigger my SSS ultimate skill, Terminus Light. Lan Yue can only look up in shock as the overwhelming power of humanity's last stand washes over him. He's completely paralyzed by the lightning, unable to move a muscle. I can see the panic in his eyes. He's realized too late that he seriously underestimated me. I feel strangely at peace as my body begins to shatter into fragments of light. Within those shards, I see happy memories of me and a young girl. That's who I was fighting for. The fragments show glimpses of the people I loved, my little sister, my master, and a faded photo of my parents. I'm finally letting go, ready to see them again in whatever comes next. My final thoughts are filled with regret. I realize that even with this final attack, I just wasn't strong enough to save the world. This is it, my last goodbye. As my face dissolves into the blinding light, I wish I had been just a little bit stronger. The tragedy hits hard. I gave everything I had, and it still wasn't enough. Lan Yue screams in disbelief, refusing to accept that an inferior race could actually defeat him. But it's too late as the light strips away his physical form. My consciousness drifts into a white void. I wish I could go back in time. I dream of a chance to stop the very first monster dungeon before the world went to hell, but fate had other plans. I think about the first Demon King. If I could have just stopped that one monster, everything would be different. I can see this city as it used to be, right before it was all destroyed by fire. The energy begins to fade as I drift away, thinking about how I wouldn't have lost everything so soon. It's a heartbreaking what if from a man who has nothing left to lose. The infinity pendant I wore shatters into pieces. It looks like the end of the line for me. Suddenly, the perspective shifts. I see a dark room with a single sliver of light coming through a vent. The intense heat of battle is gone, replaced by an eerie, quiet stillness. My eyes snap open, but instead of a demon's claw, I'm met with a soft, warm light. I look completely dazed, with a simple bandage across my nose instead of deadly wounds. I find myself lying in a clean, narrow bed in what looks like a student dorm or a clinic. My shoes are neatly placed on the floor, a normal sight that feels completely alien. I sit up in a panic, checking my body and realizing I'm somehow still alive. How am I not dead? I gasp, unable to process the lack of holes in my chest. I look around the room, which is filled with medical supplies and standard office furniture. The peaceful atmosphere is so jarring that I literally can't believe my own eyes. Walking over to the window, I stare out at the bright, sunset-colored sky. It's a beautiful view, but for someone coming from a literal apocalypse, it looks like a hallucination. The sign outside reads Campus Medical Hospital, and the grounds are bustling with students. People are just walking around, talking, and living their lives like the end of the world never happened. I feel like I'm losing my mind. How is the world still intact? Where did all these people come from? To me, every single one of them should be dead. It takes me a long time to realize that this isn't some weird afterlife or a demon's trick. The reality of the situation is slowly starting to sink in. I stare at my reflection in the mirror, touching my face to make sure I'm actually there. I'm younger, healthier, and most importantly, I'm actually alive. And that's when everything changed. The shocking truth hits me. I've returned to my university days, exactly 10 years before the world fell. It's the ultimate second chance I was just wishing for. I just stand there in shock, looking at my younger self with these wide red eyes. I'm back in a time before I lost my family and friends, before the war even began. Suddenly, a strange glitching sound fills the air, and a digital interface starts manifesting in front of me. It's like a system notification from a video game appearing in the real world. A message pops up. Fusion for the power of Gluttony is complete. Whatever this is, it finished just as I was getting my bearings in this new timeline. I confirm the date is May 16th, 257, exactly 10 years into the past. The Gluttony screen is still floating right in front of me, tracking my every move. I check the digital clock on the desk, 4015 p.m. This is it. I'm officially 10 years in the past, and I have a decade of future knowledge to work with. It hits me. This is 3 years before the first Demon King is even supposed to appear. I have 3 years to prepare for the invasion that I know is coming. I remember it all too clearly. In the year 260, the first Demon King, known as Wrath, will make his terrifying debut. That was the moment everything started to spiral out of control. I can see him now, a mass of dark tentacles and pure evil emerging from the shadows. This is the monster that will eventually open the floodgates for the rest of the demon horde. Wrath was the one who opened the gates of hell, allowing the other demon kings to enter our world one by one. He's the root cause of the entire apocalypse. I remember the destruction clearly. That was the beginning of the end, and it cost me everything I loved. I'm not about to let that history repeat itself. I look down at my hands, feeling the potential for a different future. I've returned, and this time, I'm not going to be a helpless victim. This decision would change everything. My eyes glow with a fierce determination. I will defeat Wrath and stop the gates of hell from ever opening. This is my one shot to change the fate of humanity. I turn my attention back to the floating screen. What is this power of Gluttony? It's been following me since I woke up, like a persistent RPG menu. It's literally hovering in mid-air right in front of my face in my dorm room. Is this a side effect of my time travel or a completely new ability? I touch the screen, and it reacts, displaying my name, C. Chen, and a level 1 status. It looks exactly like a character sheet from a game, which is incredibly weird even for this world. I hold my hand up to the interface, testing its physical presence. It's definitely real and definitely linked to me personally. The stat screen shows 100 in everything: strength, speed, stamina, luck, element, and mental. I'm confused because I've never seen anything like this level system before. In my previous life, I always just fought using my awakened powers. This digital interface is a total wildcard that I don't fully understand yet. I think back to my past self. Back then, I was just a regular guy trying to survive using whatever powers I managed to awaken. No fancy menus, just grit and determination. The reality of my past situation was pretty grim. I was at the National University for Awakened Powers, but I was basically the school's punching bag. For 4 years, I was at the absolute bottom of the food chain. I look at a chart of different classes like Star Mage and Lightning Assassin. Only 1 in 10,000 people can actually awaken. Back then, even among the elites, I was considered a failure. I remember being unable to awaken at all while I was a student. It was humiliating, and I was constantly getting my butt kicked by literally everyone in school. A chibi version of myself pops up, scratching my head. My past weakness is probably why I woke up in a hospital bed in the first place. Some things never change, huh? Suddenly, a glitchy effect ripples through the air right in front of me. I sense something familiar and let out a surprised sound. A golden card manifests, showing the Lightning Assassin class with maxed out stars in every stat category. It even lists high-tier skills like Godspeed and Electroblade. Little did I know what was coming next. It hits me. Lightning Assassin was my class title in my previous life. It seems like the Gluttony system might have actually brought my endgame powers back with me. I start to wonder if I've actually managed to awaken early this time around. If I have my future powers now, the bullies at this school are in for a very rude awakening. A class change. Loading screen appears as I stare at the card, feeling more determined than ever. I'm not the same loser who got beaten to a pulp yesterday. I should test out my current powers. I'm ready to see just how much of my SSS rank strength made the trip back in time with me. I hear a click as the dorm room door starts to open. I quickly glance over my shoulder, wondering who's dropping by. A guy with messy hair and glasses walks in. It's Ma Long, an E-rank flower chanter. He looks genuinely worried about me. Ma Long rushes over, asking if I'm okay, and sounding relieved that I'm finally awake. I try to act casual, hiding the giant glowing screen that's still hovering in the air. I realize Ma Long can't see the Gluttony screen at all. It's a huge relief. I can keep this secret power to myself while I figure things out. Ma Long is absolutely floored when he sees that all of my injuries are completely gone. He remembers me getting beaten to a pulp just yesterday and can't figure out the miraculous recovery. I look at my college roommate, remembering how things used to be. Ma Long was always the one who looked out for me, even though he was a low-ranked awakener himself. Ma Long grabs my arm, checking me over and wondering if I somehow got stronger overnight. He has no idea that the man standing in front of him is a battle-hardened veteran from the future. Seeing Ma Long alive and well makes the reality of my return finally sink in. I'm really back, and I have a chance to save the people who were murdered in my original timeline. Ma Long suddenly remembers that the ranking test is tomorrow and panics, dragging me along to go and prepare. He's got that classic, overexcited sidekick energy. He pushes me out the door, lecturing me about how important this test is for graduation even if I haven't awakened yet. Little does he know, I'm probably the strongest person on campus right now, and things are about to get worse. We walk out to a beautiful sunset over the university campus. This peaceful, everyday life is something I missed so much. It's a stark contrast to the burning ruins I just came from. Students are scattered around the courtyard, laughing and practicing their various awakened powers. It's a world full of life and potential, oblivious to the coming storm. Some guys are even using their powers to play soccer, having a blast in the afternoon sun. I watch them, feeling like it's been a lifetime since I saw people just being happy. As we walk, I mention how long it's been since I've seen so many living people, which totally confuses Ma Long. He asks what on earth I'm talking about, clearly thinking I have a few loose screws. Ma Long suggests we just take a walk around the track to clear my head. He's trying to be supportive, but he has no clue about the heavy weight I'm carrying. I'm lost in thought. I've already lost everything once. I know that if I just sit back and do nothing, the entire cycle of destruction will just repeat itself. I stare out at the campus, but in my mind, I see the same hopeless future where everything is reduced to rubble. I'm the only one who knows the truth, and that burden is massive. I decide I need to come up with a plan and rank up as fast as possible. I can't afford to be the bottom of the food chain, loser this time around. I know that in this era, the only way to truly rank up is by killing monsters near a dungeon. I see a vision of an awakener standing over a fallen beast, bathed in the golden glow of a level up. The problem is that almost all the good dungeons are monopolized by major guilds. Without a guild's backing, an independent hunter basically has zero chance of getting stronger. I pull up my stat screen again, checking the tiers of strength from S down to E. I'm trying to figure out where I currently fit in the school's hierarchy with my level 1 status. I look at my level 1 rank and try to guess what kind of grade the school would actually give me. I've got the experience of an SSS rank, but on paper, I'm still a newbie. I look over at Ma Long. I'm definitely a better grade than him. It's a bit of a low bar, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. Suddenly, a basketball flies out of nowhere and slams right into Ma Long's face with a violent thwack. The poor guy didn't even see it coming. Ma Long hits the pavement with a heavy thud, groaning in pain as blood starts to leak from his nose. It's a classic bully move, and it's clear someone did this on purpose. What happens next is hard to believe. A group of guys sitting on the stairs starts laughing and mocking us. One of them shouts out, asking if it ain't me and Ma Long, looking entirely too smug. A muscular guy in a black tank top and dog tags looks down at us with a predatory grin. He sneers, asking if we sure recovered quickly. Clearly the leader of this little bully squad. Ma Long is shaking, clutching his bleeding face and cursing our bad luck for running into these guys again. He's clearly terrified, while I just stand there with a cold, unreadable expression. The main bully laughs, telling his friends that he knew we could take a beating. He's treating us like toys meant for his personal entertainment. He stands up and demands to know why we didn't bring him 2 cases of drinks since we knew he was playing basketball. It's standard low-level extortion, and he's clearly used to getting his way. Ma Long immediately starts apologizing, offering to go buy the drinks right away just to make the bullying stop. He's been broken by these guys so many times that his first instinct is just to submit. But I've had enough. I tell Ma Long that it isn't his fault and stare down the bullies, declaring that the ones who should be apologizing are them. Big mistake, buddy. You have no idea who you're messing with now. As I stare down my old tormentor, I recognize the face immediately. It's this jerk, Gong Ting. Seeing him brings back a flood of memories I probably would have preferred to stay buried. I flash back to our old school days and just how bad the bullying was. Gong Ting shoves my head straight into a sink. I'm literally drowning as water splashes everywhere, desperately gasping for air while the sound of my struggle fills the bathroom. It was pathetic. Gong Ting holds me down with one hand while his lackeys just stand around laughing like idiots. I can still hear the muffled gurgling as I'm forced to endure this humiliation in front of an audience. Ma Long, my only real friend, is there too, but all he can do is plead for them to stop. He's clearly terrified, shouting for them to quit it while he watches me get tortured. Gong Ting doesn't care at all, flashing a sadistic grin as he asks why he should stop. He's actually got the nerve to claim he's helping me out, like drowning someone is some kind of tough love training. He pushes my head even deeper, mocking the fact that I still haven't awakened my powers yet. In his twisted mind, a little nudge like this is exactly what an unawakened weakling needs to spark their potential. The bullies erupt in a chorus of cruel laughter, thinking the whole situation is the funniest thing they've ever seen. This is the kind of toxic environment I had to survive every single day before the world ended. Eventually, they just leave me slumped unconscious on the floor, soaked and shivering. Gong Ting calls it boring and decides to head out, showing just how little he values a human life. As soon as the bullies are gone, Ma Long rushes to my side, panicking and asking if I'm okay. I can see the pure desperation in his eyes as he tries to wake me up. Even unconscious, a single thought echoed in my mind: why won't they just leave us alone? It's a heartbreaking glimpse into the trauma that fueled my future as a cold-blooded assassin. A chilling realization hangs over the scene. Pure evil doesn't just exist in some demon realm. It's right here in the human world, wearing the face of a schoolyard bully. Gong Ting pauses as he's walking away, looking back over his shoulder like he heard something. He's got that suspicious, arrogant look of someone who thinks they're untouchable, but things are about to get worse. The text hammers the point home. It also exists in the human world. Monsters aren't just things that crawl out of dungeons. Sometimes they're the people standing right next to you. Gong Ting turns back with a truly demonic expression, his eyes practically glowing with malice. He's not done yet, telling his goons to come on and that they should keep playing with me, proving he's nothing more than a monster in human skin. Back in the present, Gong Ting is still playing the same old games, demanding to know why we didn't bring him drinks while he plays basketball. He's still acting like the king of the court, totally oblivious to the fact that the guy he's mocking has already seen the literal end of the world. I step forward, my voice calm but icy, telling Ma Long it isn't his fault. I stare Gong Ting right in the eye and declare that the bullies are actually the ones who should be apologizing. Ma Long is still stuck in his old mindset, stammering out apologies and offering to go buy the drinks right away just to keep the peace. He's trembling, clearly expecting another beating if he doesn't comply. Gong Ting looks genuinely confused for a second, letting out a surprised sound as he stares at this new, defiant version of me. Even Ma Long is bewildered, asking me what on earth I'm talking about. Ma Long's face is a picture of pure anxiety as he stares at my back. He's convinced I finally lost it and am about to get us both killed. Gong Ting finally stands up, his right arm erupting in a sickly green energy as his system profile pops up. He's an E-rank flower warrior. Not much in the grand scheme of things, but in this school, it's enough to make him a god. I just watch him, thinking about how he only gets away with this because his older brother is the student council president. In reality, this guy's powers are pretty mediocre compared to what's coming. The crowd of students starts whispering and laughing, excited to see Gong Ting beat us up again. It's sickening how they treat this systematic bullying like a halftime show. The bullies loom over us, calling us the 2 most useless dudes in the entire school. They're laughing about how we just got out of the hospital, expecting another easy victory. Gong Ting gets right in my personal space, but I don't flinch. I just quietly ask what he just did, my patience clearly having reached its absolute limit. He sneers back, asking what I just said, and cracking his knuckles as that green energy intensifies. He's trying to be intimidating, but he has no idea he's barking at a hibernating dragon. My red eyes flare with a terrifying intensity as I give my final warning, telling him to leave us alone from now on. The air around me seems to thicken with killing intent. Gong Ting has officially lost his temper, winding up a massive right hook while screaming that I need to be taught another lesson. He's putting everything he has into this punch, fully expecting to shatter some bones. but I effortlessly catch the punch mid-air with one hand, the impact creating a shockwave. I didn't even move an inch, just stood there and completely shut down the E-rank warrior's best shot. Gong Ting lets out a pained yell as he's forced back, his face contorted in shock. He's clutching his wrist, unable to believe that his killer jab was just swatted away like a fly. The entire crowd goes dead silent, eyes wide as they witness the impossible. One of the girls asks if I just blocked Gong Ting's punch, as the rumors start flying instantly, and that's when everything changed. Gong Ting is absolutely fuming, asking if his eyes are playing tricks on him. He can't wrap his head around how a weakling who hasn't even awakened yet could possibly challenge him. I decide it's time to show him the truth, triggering a class change command as yellow lightning begins to swirl around my hand. Perfect, I mutter. Time to use this bully as my first test subject. The system confirms the change is complete, and suddenly I'm back in my lightning assassin form. My stats are off the charts for a level 1, and the sheer pressure I'm emitting is enough to make the air vibrate. Ma Long is losing his mind in the background, screaming in disbelief. He yells, asking when I awakened. His glasses nearly falling off his face as he watches his useless friend transform into a lightning god. I stand there crackling with electrical energy, looking like a total badass. I'm finally back in my element, and I have to admit, I'm enjoying the look of pure terror on everyone's faces. Gong Ting panics and activates his ultimate move, the I Am Immortal Demon Armor, causing his skin to turn into jagged, rocky plates. He screams that I must have forgotten the taste of his killer jab and prepares to charge. His armored fist looks absolutely massive compared to me, as I just stand there looking tiny. The bully is laughing like a maniac, convinced his new armor makes him invincible. But speed is my specialty. I vanish in a blur of sparks, ducking under his slow, lumbering punch with zero effort and appearing right in his blind spot. I deliver a single, lightning-charged punch right into his gut, and the impact is devastating. A massive burst of light erupts as the immortal armor shatters like glass under the force of the strike. He's sent tumbling backward with a double thud, rolling across the pavement like a rag doll. The immortal demon just got knocked out by one punch from a guy who was unawakened 10 minutes ago. The onlookers are completely stunned, their faces twisted in shock as they try to process what they just saw. One of them screams, asking if I sent Gong Ting flying with one punch. The power dynamic of the school just flipped in an instant. Gong Ting is flat on his back, gasping for air and cursing me for sneaking him. Even in defeat, he's trying to preserve his ego, but the bruises on his face tell a very different story. He frantically yells at his goons to stop standing there and do something, but the white-haired lackey is frozen solid. He's sweating bullets, realizing that he's definitely not paid enough to fight a lightning-speed monster. The lackey can only stutter out that he can't, his face pale with fear as he watches me loom over his fallen leader. He knows if he steps in, he's next. I stand there as a dark silhouette, bathed in the menacing glow of my own lightning. I must look like a demon from hell. I bet every bully in that courtyard is reconsidering their life choices right now. Gong Ting isn't done yet, scrambling to his feet and charging back in with a desperate scream. He yells that he'll kill me, but it's clear he's just swinging wildly out of pure rage. I don't even blink, catching his rocky fist with my bare hand like it's a slow-motion toy. The disparity in our strength is so massive it's almost funny. I lean in close, my eyes glowing with a terrifying light, and deliver the ultimate insult. You're so weak. It's the most crushing blow Gong Ting has ever received, and I can see his spirit break in real time. A barrage of lightning-fast punches follows, appearing as a flurry of impacts as I dismantle him piece by piece. I'm moving so fast that he can't even begin to mount a defense. With one final heavy strike, I send him spinning into the air like a broken toy. His armor is completely gone now, leaving him battered and broken. With a loud boom, he crashes into a set of bleachers, the impact sending debris flying everywhere. He lies there in a heap, finally silenced by the guy he called useless. He's out cold, coughing up blood and covered in bruises, a total mess after underestimating me. The E-rank warrior never stood a chance. The rest of the bullies scramble away like rats as I turn my back on the carnage, looking completely bored. Ma Long is still sitting on the ground, staring at me like he's seen a ghost. Ma Long's eyes are nearly popping out of his head, stuttering as he tries to ask when I got this strong. To him, this is a miracle, but to me, it's just Tuesday. I look down at my hand, blood on my knuckles, with a cold, analytical expression. Ma Long wonders when I got so strong, not realizing I have years of combat experience under my belt. I ignore the questions and check my status screen, drawing a few rough conclusions about my current state. I need to figure out exactly how this system works if I'm going to save the world. I note that I can switch back to my lightning assassin job whenever I want, which is a huge advantage. I crackle with power again, feeling the familiar hum of high-tier electricity. Little did he know what was coming next. I realize that even though I'm technically only level 1, my past life experience makes me easily stronger than any low-tier E rank like Gong Ting. But my exact rank in this new world is still a total mystery. I notice a major problem though. Despite clearly knocking Gong Ting out, my stats haven't budged an inch. I'm still sitting at level 1, which means schoolyard brawls aren't going to cut it for leveling up. A close-up of my eye shows my intense focus. There's another problem I haven't accounted for. This system has rules, and I need to break them if I want to get strong enough to fight demon kings. I stare at my hand, a tiny spark of lightning dancing between my fingers. If I can't gain XP from people, I'm going to have to find something else to kill. Ma Long catches up to me, shouting for me to wait and asking what on earth I'm doing. He's clearly worried that I'm about to go too far with the unconscious bully. I hover my hand right over Gong Ting's throat, lightning swirling violently as if I'm about to deliver a fatal blow. I've got that stone-cold look that says I'm considering finishing the job once and for all. I stare down with my glowing red eyes. Will the ways to gain experience be the same as they were in my original timeline? If I want to reach the top, I'm going to have to be a lot more ruthless than before. I'm absolutely done playing nice, gripping Gong Ting by the face as yellow lightning violently crackles between my fingers. I look like I'm about to fry his brain right then and there. Suddenly, a hand drops onto my shoulder, snapping me out of my bloodlust. A female voice asks if I know this is a school, stopping the execution just in time. It's Ling Yu, the student council vice president. She looks way too calm for someone standing in the middle of a lightning storm. She's got that perfect student look, but you can tell she's the one actually running the show. She flashes a polite smile and promises that Gong Ting won't be messing with us anymore. It's a classic student council move. De-escalate the situation before someone actually ends up in a body bag. I'm not impressed. Why is the student council so quick to defend a piece of trash like Gong Ting? I try to play it cool. It's not like I was actually going to kill the guy, probably. I let go and walk away, leaving a battered Gong Ting on the ground as Ling Yu watches me go with a curious look. The sun is setting on the first day of my new life, and I've already made some very powerful enemies. As we leave, I think to myself that if I don't seriously intimidate guys like this, they'll never stop bothering us. I'm playing the long game here, and being nice isn't part of the strategy. The crowd of students is absolutely buzzing with rumors, unable to believe that the school's weakest losers just took down an E-rank warrior. They're already making plans to stay as far away from me as possible. Ling Yu stands alone, repeating the phrase, "the weakest losers," with a sharp glint in her eyes. She's clearly seen through my act and realizes that I'm a lot more dangerous than my student records suggest. Ma Long is practically running to keep up, shouting that he's coming as he follows me away from the scene. He's still shaking, probably wondering if his roommate has been replaced by a secret agent or something. The scene shifts to the men's dormitory at night. It looks quiet and peaceful on the outside, but inside, things are about to get very loud as the reality of what happened today starts to sink in. Ma Long is having a total meltdown in our room, screaming about how I'm a super overpowered lightning assassin. He's reenacting the fight with way more drama than necessary, looking like a total fanboy. Our other roommate, Xiang Zuo, just sits there looking bored while Ma Long explains that no one will even look us in the eye anymore. He's an E-rank flame mage and clearly thinks he's too cool for this conversation. Ma Long keeps going, describing how I pinned Gong Ting to the ground and beat the crap out of him. You can see the pure joy on his face now that their biggest bully has been humbled. Xiang Zuo has heard enough and jabs Ma Long in the head, telling him he must have taken a beating to his brain. He asks if I'm that strong, then why the hell do I need to run, completely dismissing the story. Ma Long stammers out that I said I was going for a run, which only makes the other guy more skeptical. He just can't wrap his head around an awakened person needing to do basic cardio, and this is just the beginning. The fourth roommate, Shang Yo, is glued to his computer screen and tells Ma Long to snap out of it. He's an E-rank flower chanter and seems more interested in his games than my sudden power-up. The brutal truth is, the four of us were assigned to this room because we had the literal worst test scores in the entire grade. It's an irrefutable fact that we're the bottom of the barrel, or at least, we used to be. Xiang Zua starts showing off, manifesting a small flame in his hand to prove he's the top dog of the dorm. Since he's the only combat class in the room, he thinks he's naturally superior to everyone else. He continues his ego trip, laughing at the idea of a pathetic loser like me ever becoming a lightning assassin. He's feeling pretty confident about making it into one of the elite clubs after the next evaluation. He looks over his shoulder with a smug grin, telling Ma Long that everything will be clear after tomorrow's graduation exams. He's so focused on his own tiny bit of power that he has no clue he's living with a monster. Meanwhile, in the E-rank training dean, a massive pillar of fire is roaring in the middle of a stone room. This is where the actual elites go to sharpen their skills. Gong Ting, the student council president and Gong Chang's older brother, steps out of a swirling fire portal. He's got that main character energy, looking sophisticated and dangerous in his long white coat. He walks with a terrifying amount of confidence, the fire crackling behind him as he finishes his personal training. It's clear where the Flower Warrior family got their genes from. He calmly says that's enough training for today, ending the session as his subordinates bow in the background. He's a total pro, but even he is about to deal with some family drama. He finds his brother, Gong Ting, waiting for him in the hallway, looking like a mummy with all those bandages. The bully is a complete mess, a far cry from the arrogant jerk we saw earlier. Gong Ting is literally crying, begging his brother to do something because I humiliated him in front of everyone. He's playing the victim card hard, trying to stir up a blood feud. Gong Ting looks down at his pathetic brother with a cold, judging expression. He says simply that he knows, his calm voice hiding whatever anger he might be feeling about his family's reputation being trashed. He promises to take care of it, which usually means someone is going to end up in the hospital. He looks determined to restore his brother's honor, mostly for his own sake. The scene jumps to a fancy dinner. Someone is slicing into a perfectly cooked steak. A woman's voice asks how he is planning to take care of this, showing the luxury of the elite class. It's Ling Yu having dinner with Gong Ting, and she's not letting him off easy. He just shrugs it off, claiming his brother was simply outmatched, which is a pretty huge understatement. Gong Ting looks thoughtful, wondering if this new guy Mi is actually as strong as the rumors say. He's the type to analyze his enemies before striking, unlike his impulsive brother. Ling Yu reminds him that he's already recruited every single D-rank student in the entire academy into his club. She's essentially pointing out that he already has all the talent in the school under his thumb. She continues, explaining that mediocre awakeners have zero chance of getting stronger because they don't get the same opportunities to enter monster dungeons. It's a rigged system, and they're the ones at the top of it. While the elites eat steak, I'm out running in a torrential downpour, pushing my body to the limit. No one can keep up with my specialized training regime. I'm running 20 kilometers while carrying a 100 kg load. That's basically a whole person on my back. I believe that basic physical training is the only way to build a foundation strong enough for my future powers. The massive weights on my back are a testament to the sheer intensity of my workout. I know that an awakener's true potential is directly linked to how much their physical body can withstand. Sweat and rain pour down my face as I gasp for air, looking absolutely exhausted but driven by a singular purpose. Even this is nowhere near enough. The monsters I have to face are beyond human. A terrifying flashback shows the Demon King W. Wraith emerging from a monster dungeon, surrounded by glowing red tentacles. This is the nightmare that's destined to happen in just 3 years. The most painful memory flashes by, me, kneeling in the rain, cradling the lifeless body of my little sister, Si-yoon. I'm screaming no, in a moment of pure, raw agony. My only family, my little sister. Her death is the primary reason I'm pushing myself so hard in this new life. She died at his hands. Wrath was the one personally responsible for killing her, making this a very personal revenge mission for me. I see Wrath again, a massive, shadowy figure throwing open the gates of hell and letting the other demon kings invade. He was the catalyst that ended the world, and I'm ready to stop him. My objective is crystal clear: slay Wrath. If I can take out this one monster early, I might be able to save everyone I lost. Back in the present, I stare into the rain with a look of terrifying determination. I'm not just training to be a student, I'm training to be a god slayer. I only have 3 years before the descent, and Wrath is surely growing stronger every second. If I don't grow even faster, I'll just fail all over again. Suddenly, my pocket starts vibrating with a loud buzz, snapping me out of my dark thoughts. I reach for my phone, probably expecting more school nonsense. My heart stops when I see the caller ID, Si-yoon. It's my sister calling me back. For a second, I forgot she's actually alive in this timeline. I answer with a shaky hello, sounding like I'm on the verge of tears just hearing the phone connect. It's the first time I've felt truly vulnerable. She yells, asking her bro why I called her so many times today. She sounds perfectly healthy and full of life. I just stand there in the middle of the empty street, letting the rain wash over me as I listen to her voice. She explained she was at a competition and her phone died, but she's hopeful about winning so they can pay off their back rent. She's still the same hardworking girl I remember, and I've never been more grateful. I think about how in that ruined future, I prayed 1,000 times just for everything to start over. Well, I got my wish, and I'm not going to waste a single second of it. She asks if it's raining over there, noticing the background noise and wondering why I'm being so quiet. She has no idea that her brother is currently reliving his worst trauma just to save her. I managed to choke out a simple, "It's nothing," hiding my emotions behind a sad, nostalgic smile. I'm just happy to know that she's safe and sound for now. My final thought is a vow to protect her, even if it costs me everything. I'm willing to sacrifice my soul if it means she gets to keep living her life. My eyes are wet with more than just rain as I whisper that it's been so long since I've heard her voice. To her, it's only been 2 days, but to me, it's been a decade of hell. Even if I must descend into an endless hell, my resolve is dark but firm. I'm fully prepared for whatever suffering this new path requires of me. She thinks I'm being weird since we just spoke, but I just promised to see her soon after my own competition is over. I hang up, feeling a renewed sense of purpose that I didn't have before. I stare up at the dark sky, the rain soaking my hair, looking like a man who's just made a deal with the devil. I'm ready to face the world again. Now everything really has begun anew. This isn't just a second chance anymore. It's a war for my sister's future. I get back to work, screaming for 3 more laps as I sprint through the rain with my heavy backpack. I can't afford to slow down for even a second. I have to grow stronger, as fast as humanly possible. The words fill my mind as I push through the physical pain, driven by the memory of my sister's death. Later that night, I'm back in the dorm room. It's only been 8 hours since I returned to this era. Ma Long is fast asleep on the top bunk, totally oblivious to my secret workout. I take a hot shower, looking at my younger, weaker reflection as the steam rises around me. I can feel my mind and body starting to sync up, even if my current stats are still low. I get dressed, my expression hardening as I decide I need to address the most pressing issue right now. I can't just keep doing cardio forever. I need actual combat experience. I sit on my bed, contemplating the fact that if I want to level up, I have to enter a demon den. However, the major guilds have a total monopoly on all of them, making it impossible for a lone student like me to get in. I'm stuck in a catch-22. I need to be elite to enter dungeons, but I need dungeons to become elite. Then my mind wanders back to that power of gluttony system. What exactly is it? What exactly is it? The question appears in a white box as I focus my mind on the interface. I need to know if this thing can help me bypass the guild monopoly. Suddenly, the world around me glitches out as the system starts initializing, with loading bars filling up in red. It's a total reality shift that happens while I'm just sitting in my room. A massive glutton system and idiot. Screen appears as I'm suddenly pulled into a deep red digital void. I'm falling through the darkness, looking like a small speck in a vast, menacing ocean of data. I'm plummeting towards a pool of dark liquid with a loud rushing sound. It looks like I'm being swallowed whole by the very system I was trying to understand. I hit the liquid with a massive splash, sinking into a void of pure red and black. It looks like I'm being transported to a completely different dimension, and that's when everything changed. I land in a nightmare landscape, standing on a tiny island in a sea of blood beneath a jagged, twisted tower. I look around in total shock. I'm definitely not in my dorm room anymore. Where am I? I gasp, wondering if I wasn't just asleep. My red eyes are wide as I take in the hellish environment. The gluttony system just took me to its home turf, and it's not exactly a 5-star hotel. Just as I start to process my new reality, the world glitches out and I find myself plummeting through a dark, digital void. I hit a pool of thick, dark liquid with a heavy splash, feeling the freezing chill of this strange new dimension. I continue to sink, surrounded by a swirling pinkish mist as I fall deeper into the unknown. The sound of rushing wind fills my ears, making it clear that this isn't just a simple dream or a vision. I manage to find my footing on a small island in a literal sea of blood, staring up at a massive, jagged tower that pierces the dark sky. What the hell is that tower? I mutter, feeling an overwhelming sense of dread radiating from the structure. The silence is broken by a low, guttural growl as several skeletal, wolf-like creatures emerge from the shadows. Their hollow eyes glow with a sickly blue light, and it's obvious they haven't had a decent meal in a very long time. The system identifies them as G-Rave Hounds, E-rank cloud warriors that look like they're made of bone and malice. They're low-level mobs, but in these numbers, they could easily tear a normal person to shreds. I don't panic. Instead, I trigger a class change, my eyes glowing red with focus. Am I inside a monster dungeon? Yellow lightning begins to arc around my body. The lightning assassin is ready for work. My status screen confirms the transformation is complete, showing my level 1 stats. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how I got here, but for now, I've got a pack of hungry skeletal dogs that need to be put down. The Gravehounds launch themselves at me in a coordinated strike, their jaws snapping as they lunge through the air. They're fast, but to someone who's faced literal demon kings, they might as well be moving in slow motion. I vanish in a blur of lightning, reappearing behind the lead monster and delivering a devastating strike. I'm moving so fast that the creatures can't even track my position, their bone armor shattering under the pressure. With a sickening crunch, I shatter the skull of one Gravehound, instantly killing it. The system rewards me with 3 Gravehound fangs, proving that I can actually collect loot in this weird subdimension. I continue my lethal dance, cutting through the pack like a hot knife through butter. To me, dealing with these E-rank pests is a literal walk in the park, a perfect way to test out my returning agility. I kick off the final hound, sending it flying as a spray of blood hits the ground. Everything feels so real. I notice my experience bar climbing as several plus 52 EXP notifications pop up in front of me. A massive level up notification fills my vision. I've already reached level 2. I can't hide my excitement. If I can gain real experience and level up here, I've found the ultimate secret training ground. My new stat screen pops up showing my level 2 status with significantly boosted strength and speed. This system is insanely broken, and I'm starting to realize just how fast I can grow in this place. I look at my hand as a notification tells me every single stat has increased by 5 points. It's a huge jump for just one level, and I can feel the raw power surging through my rejuvenated body. The realization hits me like a truck. I've actually found a dungeon where I can train completely solo, away from the guild monopolies. This is the golden ticket I need to bypass the rigged ranking system of the academy. But the celebration is cut short when a massive shadow looms over me. A gargantuan version of the earlier monsters, the Gravehound King, emerges from the gloom, its eyes burning with a much more intense, hateful light. The boss lets out a roar, fire literally spilling from its skeletal maw as it prepares to incinerate me. I just grin. I'll finally get to test my actual skills here. I lunge forward, meeting the boss head-on in a spectacular clash of lightning and bone. One precise strike later, the Gravehound King is history, and another level-up message flashes as I hit level 3 in record time. The victory screen shows my loot, 18 fangs and a rare Gravehound crystal. I'm basically speedrunning this dungeon, proving that my past life's combat instincts are still top tier. I check my level 3 stats, noting that bosses grant way more experience than regular mobs. I've already gained 2 levels in minutes, a feat that would take other students months of hard work. Suddenly, a weird pink notification box with the word Devour appears over the boss's corpse. A strange humming sound fills the air, and I find myself staring at it, completely bewildered. I've never seen anything like this in all my years of fighting monsters. What do they mean by Devour? My curiosity finally outweighs my caution. I look back at the massive carcass, the red prompt hovering there like a forbidden fruit. I'm about to discover the most terrifying part of my new Gluttony power. I reach out my hand, and a blinding red light erupts from the monster's remains. Is it true? I gasp as tendrils of energy start snaking their way toward me. A massive burst of power explodes outward, nearly knocking me off my feet. It hits me with a shock. This must be the true meaning of the power of gluttony. It's not just a name, it's a literal hunger. The energy forms a violent vortex around me, sucking the essence out of the fallen boss and pouring it directly into my soul. It looks painful as hell, but the power I'm absorbing is undeniable. I clench my fist as the last bits of energy settle into my body. The world seems to hold its breath for a second as the absorption process finally reaches its peak. The screen flashes that Devouring is complete, and a digital file manifests in the air. I've successfully processed the boss, but I haven't even seen the best part yet. A blue card showing the Gravehound King pops up, listing its stats and a frosty physique passive ability. I'm staring at it in total disbelief. I just stole a monster's entire identity. The monster I absorbed turned into a card? I exclaim, holding the glowing blue rectangle in my hand. This changes everything. I'm not just leveling up, I'm building an arsenal. The realization hits me. I can literally devour my enemies and turn them into my own classes. I'm essentially becoming a one-man army, able to swap powers on the fly depending on who I've killed. My red eyes are wide with shock as I stare at my reflection in the card. This isn't just a level-up system. It's something far more ancient and dangerous. I look back at the red energy still swirling in my eyes. This is it. I'm starting to piece together the origin of this terrifying gift, and the answer is bone-chilling. I stammer as a dark, demonic silhouette flashes through my mind. The power feels familiar in the worst way possible. A vision of a miniature demon king appears, looking exactly like the nightmare I fought in my past life. The connection is finally starting to make sense, and it's enough to make anyone's blood run cold. The energy continues to pulse around me as I realize I'm basically using a monster's cheat code. I'm staring into the abyss, and for the first time, it's staring back with a smile. It hits me with a jolt. This is the exact same ability used by Demon King Lan Yue. I've somehow been granted the very power that was used to destroy my world. A chill runs down my spine as I accept the truth. The power of gluttony that originally belonged to the Demon King is now mine. It's the ultimate irony. I'm using the enemy's weapon to save humanity. I think about how everyone else in the world is restricted to just one class for their entire life. Whether you're a star mage or a flame warrior, you're stuck with what you awakened with, until now. I hold up my 2 cards, the Yellow Lightning Assassin and the Blue Gravehound King. But now, I have 2 classes at the same time. I've officially broken the most fundamental rule of this world. I look at a lineup of shadowy monsters and realize the potential is infinite. If I can devour other monsters, I could have an endless number of classes. The scope of my power is starting to truly sink in. Of classes. My mind screams the words as my eyes glow with a fierce red light. I'm not just a student anymore, I'm a collector of souls, and I'm just getting started. I slowly calm down, staring into the middle distance. Why was I the one chosen for this burden? Is this fate, or just some cosmic accident that gave me the devil's tools? I turn my attention back to the massive, jagged tower looming behind me. If this whole place is a testing ground for my gluttony, then the real challenge must be waiting inside that structure. Suddenly, a massive rumble shakes the ground and an overwhelming pressure nearly forces me to my knees. I look around in a panic. What kind of monster could possibly emit this much killing intent? A deep, booming voice echoes through the void, saying that I have finally arrived. The voice has been waiting there for me, for a long time. The sound alone is enough to make my skin crawl. A new boss manifests, identified simply as Lord, in a glitched-out interface. He looks like a high-tier reaper, clad in tattered dark robes with a massive, wicked-looking scythe and a face hidden in shadow. The ground continues to tremble. The government ranking system goes from E to S. It's clear that whatever this Lord is, he's at the absolute top of that food chain. The Lord attacks with a sudden screech, his massive scythe cutting through the air like paper. I barely manage to dodge, feeling the heat of the blade as it whistles past my head. I'm panting, sparks of lightning in my hand as I assess the situation. I was a legend in my past life, but my current physical strength is barely at a D rank. I'm severely outclassed. The system confirms my worst fears. I'm facing an S rank K bosses, ABYSSL find. The level gap is so massive that the system basically tells me I'm outclassed in every single category. I stand there bleeding and battered, staring at the monster in total disbelief. What kind of monster dungeon is this? Why the hell is there an S-rank monster here? And how does it know my name? We trade a flurry of blows, scythe against my lightning daggers. I'm fighting for my literal life, realizing that the boss has had plenty of chances to kill me, but is somehow holding back. I get sent flying by a massive purple kick, letting out a pained groan as I crash into the red ground. This guy isn't even trying, and he's already treating me like a chew toy. I lie there gasping, noting that every strike has avoided my vitals. He isn't trying to kill me. He's just effortlessly knocking me down over and over again to break my spirit. The abyssal fiend looms over me, his skeletal jaw moving as he asks if I am still struggling. The mockery in his voice is as sharp as his scythe, and the pressure he's putting off is absolutely suffocating. I wipe blood from my mouth, my eyes narrowing as I realize the horrifying truth. This monster doesn't want my life essence. He wants me to submit and become his servant. The fiend makes his offer, asking if I will stay here and guard the Tower of Darkness by his side. He's standing there with his scythe planted in the ground, looking like a dark god offering a deal to a mere mortal. I don't even hesitate, my eyes burning with a fierce, red defiance. I declare that no matter what happens, there's no way I'm staying in this hellhole. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. I force myself up, lightning crackling violently as I prepare for a suicidal charge. I know I have no chance in a direct fight, but I'm not going out without making this monster bleed. My face is a mask of pure determination, blood dripping down my chest as I focus every bit of my remaining energy. This is a do or die moment, and I've already decided on do. The fiend's scythe glows with a menacing purple aura as he asks if I really think he won't kill me. He reveals that the only reason he's been patient is because I'm the only human who's ever managed to reach this far. A massive surge of purple flames erupts around us, and the ground starts to shatter. The boss is finally starting to lose his patience, and the atmosphere is getting exponentially more dangerous. He gives a final warning, asking one last time as the air literally vibrates with his power. Massive rumble effects shake the scene, showing just how much energy he's putting out. Stay here, or be crushed by him into oblivion? Massive chunks of rock start floating as the boss prepares to wipe me off the face of this dimension. This is it, the final choice. My face is lit by the glow of my own crackling lightning as I make my decision. I start to announce my choice, my voice steady despite the overwhelming pressure. I roar that I choose to kill him, lunging forward in a blinding yellow streak of electricity. I'm pouring everything I have into this one desperate strike, aiming straight for his head. The abyssal fiend lets out a dismissive laugh and swings his scythe in a massive purple arc. The speed is incredible, creating a flurry of swooshing sounds as he tries to swat me away. The world explodes in a clash of yellow and purple energy as we collide. It's a spectacular mess of sparks and shadows, and I'm using every bit of my agility just to stay in one piece. I blur past a strike, appearing above him in a shower of sparks. I'm moving like a man possessed, my daggers glowing with intense electrical charge. I note with a grim smile that after that last exchange, I figured out his pattern. Even against an S rank, my combat genius is starting to find the tiny cracks in his armor. I analyze his windup, noting that before each swing, there's a tiny 0.4-second delay. I can use that window to read the angle of his wrist and predict exactly where the scythe is going to go. A close-up of my glowing eyes shows me processing information at a superhuman speed. I'm not just fighting, I'm calculating every single variable in his movement. I dodge another slice by a hair's breadth, my daggers ready as I wait for the perfect moment, predict the trajectory, and dodge the blade. I stay perfectly calm in the middle of the storm. I identify another opening after a heavy strike. He has a tiny 0.2-second recovery window. It's a minuscule frame of time, but for a lightning assassin, it's an eternity. If I can time it right and hit that opening while he's completely defenseless, I'll be able to instantly pierce his heart. I'm betting everything on this 1/4 of a second. I activate Electro Blade, my daggers becoming pure conduits for massive amounts of lightning. Then I'll be able to instantly pierce his heart. My determination is literally glowing. I manage to land a hit on his face, and a Paralyze Z notification pops up. My D-rank power can't kill this guy, but a well-placed paralysis strike should buy me the few seconds I need. I immediately activate my Jawed Speed ability, boosting my movement speed tenfold in a massive surge of electricity. I don't have much time, and I'm not wasting a single millisecond of it. I blur across the red plains with a loud rush of air, moving so fast that the background becomes a smear of color. This is my chance. These few seconds are all I need to escape. I spot a pinpoint of white light in the distance. It's the only light source in this entire hellhole. I've been scouting the area while we traded blows. I'm certain this is the exit. I vanish into the light with a blink, expecting to be back in my dorm room, but I stop in my tracks as the realization hits me. The light is gone. The world glitches out again, and I find myself back in the dark void with digital fragments swirling around my hand. I've been tricked, and the consequences are about to be severe. The Abyssal Fiend is right behind me, mocking my attempt to escape. He explains that was merely an afterimage he left behind, that the exit I seek does not exist. This is not a monster dungeon. The boss glows with a terrifying purple energy, a menacing grin forming on his shadowy face. He says it's intriguing to think I found a flaw in his technique so quickly. His interest in me has clearly reached a new level. He continues his monologue, praising me for being able to analyze the situation even under the crushing weight of despair. He sees something in me that he hasn't seen in eons, a tiny spark of actual hope. The Abyssal Fiend's full form is finally revealed in all its S-rank glory, wreathed in dark, swirling flames. He says that I really am the one who will bring hope, sounding more like a prophet than a monster. A close-up of my shocked face shows me finally recognizing his features. My red eyes are wide. I've seen this exact same design before. The horrifying truth hits me. That form, I've seen it before on the Demon King Lan Yue. This monster isn't just some random boss, it's directly linked to the creature that destroyed my future. Flashback time. I see a glimpse of my final, desperate stand against Demon King Lan Yue from my previous life. The sheer scale of that explosion shows just how much power was being thrown around back then. Lan Yue was a literal nightmare to fight because he wasn't just stuck in one form. Here, I see him taking on a cold, predatory frost demon appearance that radiates pure killing intent. And then, just like that, he'd transform again, this time into a massive winged dragon of ice. He was basically a living Swiss Army knife of elemental destruction. If ice didn't work, he'd swap over to this terrifying fire beast form. Fighting this guy was like trying to beat 10 different SSS rank bosses at the same time. He was able to switch between multiple powerful classes mid-fight. No wonder humanity stood zero chance against a monster that could adapt to any situation. Even a giant plant-like vine monster was in his repertoire. He was essentially the ultimate glutton, hoarding every powerful form he could find. He even had a form that looked like a divine, gold-armored knight, complete with a massive glowing halo. Talk about a massive ego. The dude really wanted to look like a god while he was ending the world. But there's one specific form that I remember more clearly than the others. It's a memory that's been haunting me ever since I woke up in the past. Back in the present, my eyes go wide as I connect the dots. The monster I'm looking at right now isn't just some random dungeon boss. This Abyssal Fiend, the one I'm currently facing in this weird subdimension, is a perfect match for one of Lan Yue's transformations. The similarities are way too specific to be a coincidence. The realization that it looked exactly like this hits me like a ton of bricks. I'm staring at the original version of a form the Demon King used to slaughter my comrades. It all makes sense now. Lan Yu must have devoured this Abyssal Fiend at some point using his own power of gluttony. And since I now have that same power, this monster is literally part of me. I'm absolutely floored by the truth. This hellish subdimension isn't some external dungeon I was transported to. It's actually a space that exists inside my own body. I stare out at the sea of blood in the dark tower, trying to process the fact that I'm carrying an entire realm of monsters around in my soul. I gasp, realizing it's inside of me, finally understanding the scope of my new power. The Abyssal Fiend lets out a wicked, toothy grin that would make most people pass out from fear. He's genuinely impressed that I was able to figure out the truth so quickly under this much pressure. Everything is here? I repeat, my mind racing as I look at the massive boss. I'm starting to see that this gluttony power is way more than just a simple stat boost. It's an entire inheritance. The Fiend manifests a glowing gold key, identified by the system as the SSS rank Time Rift Key. This is apparently the only way to unlock the gates of that ominous Tower of Darkness. He explains that Lan Yue was a monster who devoured countless demons, but he didn't consume them all. The most powerful ones were actually sealed away inside that tower, waiting for someone to come along and claim them. The boss tells me to devour these sealed demons and make their strength my own. He hands over the key, essentially passing the torch to the only human capable of handling it. A system notification confirms it. I've acquired one Time Rift K. I just got my hands on an SSS rank item that most people wouldn't even see in their wildest dreams. I'm still bleeding and battered, looking at the key with total confusion. I asked the million-dollar question, why are you doing all of this? Why even bother helping me? The Abyssal Fiend's tone changes, becoming somber as he talks about morality even among demons. It turns out the Demon Kings weren't just humanity's enemies. They slaughtered his entire clan just out of pure greed. He stands tall, wreathed in purple flames, and says that guy was right. He believes I'm the only one who has a real shot at succeeding where everyone else failed. That guy? I wonder who he's talking about. Who would have been talking to an S-rank boss about me? I've got a feeling there are even more layers to this time travel mystery than I thought. The Fiend points toward the massive structure, telling me that all the answers I'm looking for lie inside the Tower of Darkness. He commands me to go and seek them for myself, his time clearly running out. With a final, violent surge of energy, the Abyssal Fiend begins to dissolve into particles of purple light. He roars for me to take his powers and seek vengeance against them as his essence starts pouring into me. I'm completely caught off guard by the sudden sacrifice. I'm staring at the vanishing monster with wide eyes, unable to believe he's offering me the power of an S-rank boss for free. His face is the last thing to go as he tells me to become unstoppable. He wants me to open the gates and devour every single monster inside that tower to reach the pinnacle of strength. A warning echoes through the void. The demons inside that tower won't be as friendly as this guy was. They're the most cunning and ferocious demons to exist, and they're not going to hand over their power without a fight. He tells me that I have to endure everything and conquer every obstacle in my path. This is the only way I'll be able to stand at the top of the world and actually change the future. The ultimate goal is laid out in massive red text, until you finally devour every single demon king. That's a tall order, but I finally have the tools to make it happen. The Abyssal Fiend finally fades into a few floating sparks, his last words hanging in the air. He's officially gone, leaving me alone in the sea of blood. His final thought is that only a person like that could do it. He truly believed that I was the only one worthy of inheriting his legacy and carrying on the fight. I reach out and begin the devouring process, purple energy swirling around my hand as a loading bar pops up. This is a massive intake of power, even for someone with a system. With a loud boom, a massive level up notification fills the screen as I hit level 10. I'm also given the Abyssal Fiend card, which is easily my most powerful asset yet. I look more determined than ever, my eyes glowing with a sharp red light. I accept the burden with a simple, cold reply. I got it. I'll carry on your will with me. The Devouring is officially finished, and I see the Abyssal Fiend card in my inventory. It's an S-rank Star Warrior class with absolutely insane stats. Talk about a major power-up. A voice suddenly yells, telling everyone to get up, waking me from my trance. I open my eyes, blinking at the bright light of a new day. Sunlight is streaming into a room through a window. It looks way too peaceful after that hellish subdimension. It's a jarring shift back to my mundane student life. I sit up in my dorm bunk, letting out a small groan as I try to get my bearings. I'm back in my university days, far away from blood seas and talking demon bosses. My roommates are all in a panic, shouting about being late and needing to wear their uniforms. It's the usual morning chaos in the men's dormitory. I pull my shirt aside and realize that every single wound I took in the fight is completely gone. I'm healed and energized, which makes me wonder if the whole thing was just a crazy, vivid dream. But then my system screen pops up, confirming that it was very real. It shows my level 10 status and the new Abyssal Fiend card sitting right there next to my Gravehound card. I check my stats and see that I'm officially a level 10, with 150 points in every single category. I managed to gain 9 levels in a single night. That's basically unheard of. Xiangzuo, the flame mage roommate, walks over to my bunk with an annoying tone. He's got that big brother attitude despite being an E-ranker himself. Xiangzuo starts bragging about being the top dog of the dorm and warns me not to try and take his spot. Ma Long is in the background looking nervous, knowing exactly how wrong his roommate is. Ma Long just sweats and stares at the floor while Xiangzuo keeps acting tough. He's the only one who knows that I'm the real monster in this room. I look incredibly calm and focused as I get ready for the day. I'm not even listening to Xiangzuo's trash talk. My mind is already on the upcoming assessments. As we walk down the stairs, Xiangzuo is stuffing his face with a pastry and explaining the ranking system. He's bragging about being a mid-tier E-ranker while calling us low-tier losers. Look at this guy just inhaling that food. He's so confident in his tiny bit of rank that he's actually giving us a lecture on power gaps. He shows us a chart showing the tiers from E to D, bragging that he could take out 10 of us at once. A pink label next to the D mid-tier shows the highest rank of current students, just how low the bar is at this school. He thinks his rank probably went up since he hasn't been tested in 2 years. I just walk in silence, letting the guy talk himself into a corner. Ma Long tells me I should aim for a D rank today just to scare the crap out of the bullies. He's rooting for me, having no idea that I'm probably already beyond the S tier. I repeat the idea of a D rank with a faint, dangerous smile. That rank would be child's play for me now, but I need to decide how much of my power to actually show. We arrive at the outdoor assessment grounds, which are packed with hundreds of students. The chatter and energy in the air are absolutely insane. Xiangzuo and Ma Long are blown away by the size of the crowd for the ranking assessment ceremony. It's the biggest event of the year, and everyone is here to see who the new elites are. Suddenly, we see Gong Cheng's minions shoving people aside in the hallways, shouting for them to get out of the way. They're still acting like they own the place, but then they spot me. The minions stop in their tracks, their faces going pale with pure terror. They're literally shaking at the sight of the guy who decimated their boss yesterday. Xiangzuo is totally confused, asking if they're looking at us. He has no idea that the bullies aren't looking at him. They're staring at the Reaper standing right next to him. I just walk past them like they don't even exist. My presence alone is enough to silence the guys who are just shouting at everyone else. The bullies actually bow and stammer out, "Si Chen, sir," as I pass by. They're so scared they're treating me with more respect than their own boss. Ma Long and the others watch in total shock as the school's most notorious bullies show complete and utter submission. They yell out that "Si Chen, sir," has come, acting like I'm some kind of war hero. Xiangzuo is losing his mind, wondering why they're being so polite to the guy he called a low-tier loser 10 minutes ago. Ma Long just gives a smug look, knowing the truth is finally starting to come out. I keep walking with my hands in my pockets, bored by the whole display. I've got bigger things to worry about than a bunch of terrified lackeys. Suddenly, a loud shout echoes across the courtyard, and my eyes narrow. I recognize the voice of someone who isn't nearly as scared of me as the others are. It's Chiang D, a high-ranking student council officer. He's wearing a loud floral shirt under his open coat and has that rich kid bully vibe going on. He laughs, mentioning how he heard someone got into it with Gong Cheng yesterday. He mockingly asks if I know that Gong Cheng is the younger brother of the great student council president, Gong Ting. The crowd is buzzing, identifying him as Chiang D from the student council. People are whispering that he's the president's lapdog and a notorious big shot. Ma Long and the roommates are in a panic, realizing that I'm being targeted by a big shot D ranker. They know this guy is on a completely different level than the regular bullies. Chiang D gets right in my personal space, bragging that he has an excellent sense of smell. He claims he can always detect the scent of a real powerhouse. I don't flinch. The vibes feel kinda off. I'm staring down the D ranker with a look that says I'm completely unimpressed by the flashy shirt and the big talk. Chiang D leans in even closer, delivering a brutal insult. He sneers that all he smells from me is the stench of a loser outcast who'll never amount to anything. Big mistake, buddy. You just insulted humanity's future savior. I don't take any of Chiang D's trash talk, hitting him with the ultimate comeback. Are you a dog or something? Talk about a total shutdown in front of everyone. Chiang D's brain completely short-circuits as he screams, asking what I just said. He's losing his cool because he's used to everyone bowing down to his student council status. The tension is broken as Gong Ting, the student council president, steps in with a perfectly calm expression. He's already done his homework and tells everyone that his own brother, Gong Cheng, was actually the one at fault. Gong Ting shuts down the confrontation immediately, telling Chiang D to drop it. You can tell who really holds the power here, and it's definitely the guy in the sharp coat. The president walks away, leaving a stunned crowd as he declares it's only fair. His brother faced the consequences of his own actions. Chiang D can only mutter, "All right, President," like the loyal lapdog I called him. Gong Ting looks thoughtful for a moment as he walks off. He's the top student for a reason, but something about me is definitely starting to pique his interest. I just stand there with my hands in my pockets, looking completely unfazed by the drama. I've got that stone-cold focus of someone who has much bigger problems than school hierarchy. The announcer on the main stage officially kicks things off, telling everyone the assessments are about to begin. It's time for all these students to put their money where their mouth is and step into the portal. Gong Ting and Chiang D walk away, with the president deciding that I'm probably not much of a threat after all. He's more focused on making sure he crushes his own assessment today. High above the grounds, the vice president Ling Yu is watching the whole scene while casually sipping on some tea. She's got a front row seat to all the potential chaos. A mysterious figure in the shadows asks her if someone interesting caught her eye. It's clear the higher-ups are keeping a very close watch on this year's crop of talents. Ling Yu just gives a knowing smile, thinking to herself that this year's rankings are going to be pretty interesting. She's definitely seeing something in me that no one else has noticed yet. The clock jumps forward an hour as the assessments get into full swing. The tension in the air must be thick enough to cut with a dagger. The big screen lights up, calling the next student, Xiang Zuo. My roommates are cheering their heads off, hoping their top dog can actually deliver. Xiang Zuo steps up to the portal, flashing a cocky grin to the crowd. He's ready to prove he's more than just a mid-tier E rank and finally see his true strength. He steps into the blue light of the portal, and just like that, he's transported into the assessment area. No turning back now. The energy from the portal swirls around him as he manifests inside the testing chamber. It's a high-tech setup designed to measure every ounce of an awakener's power. These tests happen individually inside a specially designed mini-dungeon. The heart of the machine is an artificial magical core that absorbs and measures the student's energy output. The rules are simple but brutal. You have to unleash your full energy toward that core to get an accurate reading. There's no hiding your rank once you're inside this room. Xiang Zuo gives it everything he's got, screaming as he channels a massive blast of fire directly into the machine. It's a flashy display of power for someone in his grade. The artificial core takes the hit, pulsing and humming as it processes the massive surge of flame. You can practically hear the mechanical thumping as it analyzes the attack. The results start popping up on the big screen, showing a large blue E next to his name. It's now moving on to the second, more important part of the test, potential. The core lets out a heavy buzz as it finishes its calculations. Everyone in the stadium is holding their breath to see what the machine says. The testers announce the final verdict, E rank, mid-tier. They notice the machine is still crunching some numbers, realizing the rest of the data hasn't been displayed yet. Ma Long is freaking out in the crowd, shouting that the main event is finally here. He's way more excited about this than Xiang Zuo probably is. Potential is the highest rank an awakener can theoretically reach in the future. If you've got high potential, the government is going to start treating you like a VIP very quickly. A massive CC flashes on the screen for Xiang Zuo's potential. In a school of E ranks, having C rank potential is actually a pretty solid achievement. The final results are locked in. Mid-tier E rank current with C rank potential. Xiang Zuo looks totally depressed, having been desperate to break into that D rank tier today. Ma Long tries to comfort his roommate on the stairs, jokingly saying they'll probably be even worse than him. Typical roommate energy roasting you even when you're down. The screen clears as the announcer calls for the next student to step up. The cycle continues as the ranking ladder starts to take shape. The results for my other roommates, Shan Yu and Ma Long, are finally posted. Both of them landed in low-tier E rank with C rank potential, keeping them at the very bottom of the school ladder. Suddenly, the crowd erupts in shock as the screen shows someone has actually been promoted to D rank. It's the first big breakthrough of the day. The crowd is going wild for the first D rank promotion, proving that this year's class might be better than expected. People are already whispering about who might be next to jump up a tier. More students pass through the assessment portal. The rankings are starting to fill up with more D rank surprises. Chiang D walks out of the portal looking extremely smug with his new results. Low-tier D rank with a huge A rank potential. He's definitely going to let everyone know he's a future big shot now. The testers are having a field day, noting that they've already seen an incredible number of D ranks this year. Usually, you only see 2 or 3, so this class is officially stacked. My roommates are looking like they've seen a ghost as the 8th D rank of the day is announced. They can't believe the massive power gap that's forming between them and the rest of the grade. One of the testers remarks that, if this keeps up, this year's ranking assessment is going to be quite the legendary show. They're witnessing a generational shift in talent right before their eyes. The announcer finally drops the name everyone was waiting for, Gong Ting. The president steps forward, looking completely calm and collected as he heads toward the stage. I watch his boots as he walks with the confidence of someone who knows he's already won. The crowd goes totally quiet as the star of the school prepares for his turn. The hype is unreal as people whisper that he's not just the president, but also the heir to the massive Imperial Guild. He's basically royalty in this world and everyone knows it. The crowd calls him the Chosen One. with a list of titles longer than your grocery list. I just watched silently from the side, probably the only one not impressed by all the fancy rumors. People remember he already got a D rank assessment 2 whole years ago. The big question now is just how high he's managed to climb since then. The artificial core opens its mechanical eye, looking like something straight out of a sci-fi horror movie. It's ready to receive whatever massive amount of energy Gong Ting is about to throw at it. The core pulses with a heavy mechanical rhythm as it prepares for the input. I can practically feel the air vibrating from the tension in the room. Gong Ting stands before the machine, looking totally relaxed with his hands still in his pockets. He's the definition of too cool for school right now. He thinks to himself that he needs to hold back some of his power today. He wants to save his true strength for the graduation exams to make the biggest possible impact on the scouts. Gong Ting's eye glows with a dangerous light. He decides that even holding back, he'll still be the #1 student. That's some serious S-tier arrogance, but he's definitely got the stats to back it up. The machine starts buzzing like crazy as it tries to calculate the output from Gong Ting's attack. It looks like it's actually struggling to keep up with the amount of energy he just released. One of the veteran testers looks like he's about to faint, his face going completely white. He stammers out about that color, clearly seeing something on his screen that shouldn't be possible for a student. The results flash on the big screen. High tier D rank with an impossible S rank potential. This isn't just a good result, it's a national level miracle. The entire stadium explodes into total chaos. People are screaming and losing their minds because an S rank potential means he's basically a guaranteed god in the future. Chiang D is cheering like his life depends on it, shouting "Long live the president." He's definitely doubling down on being the top dog's #1 fan. Even my roommates are in absolute awe, with Ma Long shouting that they've just witnessed history. I'm the only one who stays quiet, staring at the screen with my glowing red eyes. The lead tester is in a full-blown panic, telling everyone they have to report this to the higher-ups immediately. An S-ranked potential is a rare international treasure that could change the balance of power. Gong Ting walks away from the portal, surrounded by a crowd of starstruck students. He's officially a legend now, and being the heir to the Imperial Guild just makes him even more untouchable. The president looks calm as ever, but I can see that flicker of satisfaction in his eyes. He's successfully solidified his spot at the top of the food chain. Back on the high balcony, the headmaster is talking to Ling Yu, noting the incredible talent on display today. They've definitely found some gems in this year's class. Headmaster Yuan Long, the man in charge of this whole elite university. He figures Ling Yu already knew about Gong Ting's insane potential before today even started. Ling Yu just gives a polite smile and says she didn't come out here just for the president. The headmaster is surprised, wondering who could possibly be more interesting than a future S rank. Ling Yu thinks to herself that compared to someone like Gong Ting, well, the president is just a predictable talent. She's got her eyes locked on one specific person in the massive crowd, me. She's looking past all the flashy S ranks to see the true hidden predator. She smiles, thinking that she's even more interested in my results. Looks like my secret isn't as safe as I thought it was. The announcer finally bellows out the next name, Si Chen. I'm up. It's time to see if I'm going to break the machine or play it safe. Chiang D is still running his mouth, mocking me as a loser and telling me I better not just be another low-tier E rank when my results come out. He's got that smug, punchable face, while I just stand there looking completely unbothered. He keeps going, laughing about how our group of E rank losers will just end up humiliating ourselves if we even show up for the graduation combat examination. I finally look back over my shoulder, my cold gaze enough to make anyone else shut up, but this guy just doesn't get it. Ma Long isn't taking it though, shouting at Chiang D to just wait and see. He's clearly hyped up, promising that I'm going to make him eat every single one of those words. The assessment officially begins as I step toward the portal, my name appearing on the big digital board. Everyone in the stadium is watching to see if the rumors of my new power are actually real or just a glitch. One of my other roommates looks over with a serious expression, whispering my name as I head into the chamber. Even the bullies in the background are grinning, fully expecting to see me fail miserably. Inside the testing room, the massive mechanical eye of the artificial core focuses directly on me. It's an eerie setup, with thick black cables snaking everywhere around the glowing blue orb. The core's eye pulses with a sickly light, ready to receive whatever power I throw at it. It looks more like a living monster than a piece of high-tech machinery. I stare at the core with my terrifying glowing red eyes, reaching out as I prepare to unleash my strike. I know that in this era, joining a high-ranking guild is the only real way to secure a future. For regular students, the graduation combat examination is the one and only chance to impress those top-tier guilds. The stakes couldn't be higher for someone starting from the bottom. I see a silhouette of a warrior slaying a monster, reminding me of the brutal nature of the world outside these school walls. It's a kill-or-be-killed environment where only the strongest avoid being eliminated. More flashes of combat show the intensity of the graduation exam, which is a team-based challenge. It's not just about individual power, you need a squad that can actually survive together. The team that ultimately takes first place gets the ultimate prize. Every member gets directly recruited by the Imperial Guild, the nation's most prestigious group. That's a literal golden ticket to the top of the food chain. The rules for the graduation combat examination are clearly stated. It's a team-based test where students are free to pick their own 10 teammates. Your entire future depends on the group standing next to you. The screen shows a silhouette of the prestigious Imperial Guild Tower, emphasizing exactly what everyone is fighting for. This is why these ranking assessments are secretly a massive scouting event. I see the guild logo. These assessments aren't just for checking your own rank. They serve a much bigger, more strategic purpose for the students and the guilds. It serves an even more important purpose, as I see the elite students watching the board. This is where teams are built, and the weak are officially discarded. Chiang D is laughing with one of his new recruits, a low-tier D-rank student named Yan Lin. He's already building his dream team based on the new results, trying to grab all the best talent early. Chiang D brags that their 10-person team is already complete with all the top D-rank students. He's even planning to add Gong Ting's little brother, Gong Ting, to secure their victory in the combat exam. Scouting teammates is the name of the game right now, with everyone trying to align themselves with the strongest. In this sort of high-pressure environment, a winning team can be formed in minutes. Gong Ting is surrounded by cheering fans and teammates, looking every bit like the school's MVP. His group is already calling him the MVP of the upcoming exam. In contrast, my roommates look absolutely dejected, standing alone while the winners celebrate. The harsh reality is that the strong stick together while the weak are just ostracized. A massive text box hammers home the point, and the weakest team as well. It's a brutal cycle where the ones at the bottom have almost no way to find decent partners. That's the natural law of survival. The world doesn't care about fairness, it only cares about results, and those results mean the weak are eventually eliminated. Ma Long is sweating buckets, checking the time and wondering how long I'd been in there. He's starting to lose hope, thinking there's just been no chance for a breakthrough. The assessment board still shows me with a blank rank and potential, making everyone think I'm literally too weak to even register. Someone mutters in disappointment that there's been no change whatsoever. The random students in the crowd start laughing, saying I'm probably too weak to even trigger a reading. They're already making plans to head back to the dorm, thinking the show is officially over. Chiang D laughs at the trash. Students, telling Gong Ting they don't need to wait around any longer. He's ready to go celebrate their full team at karaoke since their roster is already stacked. Gong Ting looks a bit bored as he agrees, telling Chiang D to just call the rest of the team so they can leave. He's completely dismissed me as someone beneath his notice. Suddenly, the rank board starts glitching out with a loud buzzing sound. Something is happening inside the chamber that the system wasn't prepared for at all. A blue D for high tier rank flashes on the screen for me, making everyone in the room stop dead in their tracks. Gong Ting looks back with a genuinely surprised expression as the weakling breaks expectations. My roommates are frozen, their eyes nearly popping out of their heads as they stare at the board. They can't believe their unawakened friend just jumped straight to high tier D. Ma Long is losing his mind with joy, jumping around and shouting about what he told them. He's totally rubbing it in everyone's faces now that I've delivered. Gong Ting and Chiang D look like they've seen a ghost, with Chiang D letting out a shocked sound. A high tier D rank is basically elite level for a student, and it's definitely not what they were expecting. The machine starts to rumble with a heavy thumping as the core struggles to handle the pressure. A purple warning message pops up saying the system has detected an abnormality in the magical core. The system flat out tells them the results might be inaccurate and asks for a reconducted test. I'm literally making the Academy's best technology crash. Inside the room, I'm just casually checking my level 10 stats on my private screen. I realize that even without using my special classes, my regular body is already equivalent to a high tier D rank. I decide it's time to stop playing around and really test the limits of this machine. I've got that look of someone who's about to break the rules. I switch over to my Greyhound King class, and suddenly I'm wearing a skeletal jaw mask and crackling with blue energy. The transformation is finished, and the power level in the room just tripled. Next, I'll test it out with my current weakest class. If my weak class is enough to cause errors, the school is in for a very rough day. The board glitches out again, the rank jumping around as the machine tries to find a level for this new energy. The crowd is starting to get genuinely nervous as the building begins to shake. A massive blue C rank flashes on the screen with a loud buzzing noise. The only reaction anyone can manage is disbelief as my rank keeps climbing. The crowd screams, asking what the hell is happening and if my rank went up again. Going from unawakened to mid-tier C rank in a single day is unheard of in school history. Gong Ting looks on with a mix of shock and genuine concern as the rank continues to fluctuate. He's never seen the assessment machine behave like this before. The lead tester is panicking, asking why the rank changed again and wondering if there's a massive internal system error. He's clearly never seen a student with this kind of volatile power. The system error warning pops up again, demanding a reconducted test for the third time. The machine is practically begging me to stop before it catches fire. The core's mechanical eye is bulging and sweating, looking like it's about to pop from the sheer intensity. The thumping sound is getting louder and more violent by the second. I decide to go all in, triggering another class CLASS change command. I want to see if my other two classes can break the machine once and for all. I manifest my ABYSSL find form, and the air in the room turns into a swirling vortex of purple and pink energy. This is level 10 S-rank territory now, and it's way beyond the machine's pay grade. The abyssal fiend silhouette appears behind me, radiating an aura of pure, unadulterated strength. All right, I say, sounding like a true king. Now it's time to test out the full extent of my powers. The core lets out one final massive thump as it reaches its ultimate breaking point. It looks like a heart that's about to burst, glowing with a dangerous, unstable purple light. A massive rumble shakes the entire campus as dark clouds swirl above the stadium. Lightning starts striking the ground, turning the afternoon into a literal apocalypse. The energy is so intense, it forms a dark tornado right in the middle of the testing arena. Students are screaming and looking for cover as the ranking test turns into a natural disaster. Gong Ting and Chiang D look up at the sky in absolute horror, asking what the hell's happening. They're finally starting to realize that I'm not just strong, I'm a force of nature. Ma Long is huddled on the ground with our roommates, calling it a divine phenomenon. He's terrified but also hyped, realizing our dorm has just produced an earth-shattering monster. The potential board is a complete mess of digital glitches, with the S-rank symbol barely visible through the noise. The machine is basically screaming for help at this point. A massive golden S starts flickering on the potential screen, sending shockwaves through the entire crowd. The announcer screams over the roar of the storm, asking if that's another potential S rank. The head tester looks like he's about to have a heart attack, his mouth hanging wide open in pure shock. He's witnessing history, and he's also witnessing his life's work explode. Gong Ting is sweating bullets, staring at the screen with a look of pure disbelief. He's no longer the only chosen one in school, and his ego is taking a massive hit. The warning signs start popping up in red all over the screen, followed by a massive warning about a system error. The machine has officially given up on trying to measure my potential. The text SY System Error fills the screen as the energy levels exceed every maximum bound. I've literally broken the fundamental rules of the assessment. A red warning box confirms the chaos. The potential rank value cannot be determined because the maximum system bounds have been exceeded. My power is so high it doesn't even exist in the school's database. The lead tester lets out a high-pitched scream of disbelief as his terminal literally starts blowing up in front of him. He's completely lost control of the situation and is just along for the ride now. With a loud boom, the assessment portal explodes in a massive fireball, sending debris and smoke flying everywhere. I just destroyed a piece of government technology worth millions with my sheer presence. The testers are running for their lives as the core continues to overload and spark. They're panicking, trying to make sure the students aren't in any danger from the impending blast. The core hangs limp in the smoke, blue sparks still arcing between the broken cables. One of the testers cautiously calls out for me, asking if I'm alright and fearing the worst. The lead tester is staring at the remains of the core with wide, trembling eyes, letting out a shocked sound. He realizes the machine wasn't just broken, it looks like it's been completely drained of life. He declares that the magical core is dead. It's a total loss, and everyone is left wondering what kind of monster could possibly do this to a high-tier artifact. The testers are mourning the machine, wondering if it was just in use for too long today. I stand in the background, looking completely bored and unaffected by the chaos I just caused. I probably pushed the core too far and caused it to rupture, but I'm not too worried, because at least something good came out of it for me. The system confirms my secret victory, Devouring complete. I actually used my Gluttony power to absorb the essence of the school's A-rank magical core while it was testing me. I stand amidst the digital fragments of the core, which the system identifies as a delicate magical core of A rank. I just pulled off the ultimate heist right under everyone's noses. I trigger the command to activate the delicate magical core, my eyes glowing with a bright cyan light. I've successfully incorporated the core's scanning powers into my own body. Suddenly, I see little green boxes floating over everyone's heads, displaying their current rank. I realized I can now see everyone's strength just by looking at them. Talk about an unfair advantage. A close-up of my glowing cyan eyes shows my intense focus as I scan the crowd of students. I'm feeling pretty good about this new utility skill I just borrowed. I look at Gong Ting and see a C-rank high-tier tag over his head. I'm completely unimpressed. The legendary president is actually pretty average compared to my own potential. the announcer has to deliver the bad news to the entire stadium, awkwardly explaining that the core has tragically passed away. He's clearly sweating, knowing he just lost a priceless asset. They announce that today's assessments are suspended and that my data might be corrupted. For the remaining students, they promise a replacement facility will be ready by tomorrow morning. Ma Long is hugging me, calling me a freaking genius while we walk back to the dorm. Xiang Zuo is still a bit skeptical, but Ma Long is ready to treat me like a literal king. Chiang D isn't having it though, shouting that there's no way trash like me could be C rank. He's convinced the machine was just malfunctioning and is trying to save face in front of everyone. He keeps screaming and spitting, demanding to know how I plan to pay them back for wasting their time. He's really digging his own grave right now with all this trash talk. Yellow lightning starts dancing around my hand as I reach my limit. This guy just won't shut up, and it's about to get very ugly. I stare at Chiang D with a murderous, glowing glare, lightning crackling around my head. Maybe I should just get rid of him once and for all. Gong Ting steps in once again, telling Chiang D that's enough, and reminding him not to be rude to their new teammate. Chiang D looks genuinely confused by the sudden change in tone. Chiang D can only stammer out, asking if he means teammate as he looks between the president and me. It looks like Gong Ting is a lot smarter than his lapdog, and knows exactly who he needs on his roster. Gong Ting offers his hand to me, inviting me to join his team for the graduation combat examination. He's wearing a confident smile, promising that together they'll get the highest score in school history. He says my name, Si Chen, with a weight that shows he's finally treating me as an actual equal. I just stare at his extended hand, my red eyes revealing absolutely nothing about my true intentions. Promising the highest score in history? Well, we'll see about that, buddy. The tension on the field is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Everyone is losing their minds because the legendary Gong Ting is personally inviting a total wildcard like me to join his elite squad. Chiang D is absolutely fuming in the background, gritting his teeth so hard they might shatter. He's already stressing about having to kick someone off the team to make room for a guy he considers a loser. I just stand there with that deadpan look, completely unfazed by the spotlight. The crowd is whispering, wondering what makes me so special when so many others tried to bribe their way onto the president's team and failed. Chiang D clenches his fist, realizing he's stuck in a corner. Since the invitation came from the president himself, he has to play nice in public even though he clearly wants to explode. Talk about a fake smile. Chiang D forces out a welcome to the team, but you can practically see the steam coming out of his ears. He's gritting his teeth so hard it's actually painful to watch. Chiang D is glitching out, unable to process that someone actually said no to the strongest team in school. He looks like he's about to have a literal heart attack from the disrespect. I can see him sweating bullets, his eyes wide and trembling. He's never been humiliated like this before, and it's clearly eating him alive. Gong Ting's eyes narrow, and I can see a flicker of genuine interest in his golden gaze. He's not used to being rejected, but he's staying way calmer than his lackey. I keep walking, giving zero cares while Chiang D screams at my back about how they're the strongest team around. I mutter that I don't care, which is basically the ultimate get lost. My red eyes glow with a terrifying intensity. I tell Chiang D he's too loud and warn him to never bother me again. Absolute savagery. Chiang D is having a full-blown anime meltdown, his face turning beet red as he screams into the void. Meanwhile, my roommates and I are just casually heading back like nothing happened. The gossip mill is working overtime as students whisper about me having some serious balls for rejecting the president. They're shocked, but hey, you gotta respect the hustle. I'm lost in my own thoughts, already planning my next 10 moves. People are starting to realize that if I rejected the top team, I must be aiming for that #1 spot solo. Ma Long and the other roommates are low-key terrified, but also impressed, laughing about the look on the bullies' faces. They know I'm brave, but they probably think I'm a little bit crazy too. Gong Ting watches me leave, telling his angry lackey that it's not a problem. He realizes I'm not just being difficult, I actually have my own master plan. The school grounds are finally starting to empty after the most dramatic assessment day in history. The quiet after the storm is definitely not going to last long. High above, Headmaster Yuan Long is chatting with Ling Yu, disappointed that the two powerhouses didn't team up. He was hoping for a new school record, but it looks like he'll have to settle for a rivalry instead. Ling Yu just gives a mysterious smile, thinking that things just got way more interesting this way. She's definitely the type who loves watching the world burn for entertainment. She points out that Gong Ting has always had it easy, being born with a silver spoon in his mouth. To him, someone like me rejecting him is basically an official declaration of war. But she warns that the president isn't just some rich kid pushover. He's a monster in his own right, and he doesn't take kindly to people stepping on his ego. Gong Ting and Chiang D are still standing there, with Chiang D still whining about how I only got the spotlight because of a system error. He's coping so hard right now it's embarrassing. Gong Ting gets a serious look in his eye, wondering if the assessment actually was right. He vows that no matter what, he won't let anyone else take first place from him. Chiang D is already plotting some shady stuff, muttering about teaching me a lesson. He's looking for any excuse to jump back into the bully role. The president shuts him down instantly, asking if he looks like a petty person. Chiang D backtracks immediately, terrified of upsetting the actual boss. Gong Ting walks away, declaring he's not in the mood for karaoke anymore. I can tell my rejection really got under his skin, even if he's trying to hide it. As he leaves, he gives Chiang D a cryptic warning. Whatever he decides to do is on him and has nothing to do with the president. Talk about a green light for some off-campus trouble. Chiang D just stares at the back of his leader, the gears in his head slowly turning as he processes the do whatever you want message. And there's that creepy villain grin. Chiang D's got the message loud and clear. It's open season on me, and he doesn't have to worry about school rules anymore. 10 minutes later, Chiang D's goons are hanging out by the stairs, probably looking for their next victim. They're surprised to find out that I've already left the campus. The white-haired lackey reports that I headed home early without even grabbing a bite to eat. I'd basically handed myself to them on a silver platter. Chiang D crushes a soda can with a nasty crunch, feeling like God himself is on his side today. He's ready to make me regret ever being born. Off campus, anything goes. Chiang D's looking absolutely unhinged. He thinks catching me alone is going to be an easy win, but he's about to find out how wrong he is. Meanwhile, I'm just vibing, walking through the city with my earbuds in. I'm completely unaware that a pack of high-ranking bullies is currently hunting me down. I start reflecting on my past life, where things were much darker. I know exactly how the future is supposed to play out, and I'm using that knowledge to stay ahead of the curve. I remember an incident where one of the top guilds was raiding a dungeon in the Holy Land. It was a routine mission that turned into an absolute bloodbath. This was the moment Wrath first appeared, a blinding explosion of pink energy that signaled the beginning of the end for humanity. The power scale was just off the charts. The guild didn't stand a chance and was completely wiped out by the monster. Wrath emerged from the rubble and started destroying our world piece by piece. That's all the information I currently have from my previous life. I need more intel if I'm going to stop the apocalypse before it starts. I arrive at my destination, the Mithril Monster Exchange. This place looks fancy as heck, and it's the key to the first phase of my plan. I've already come up with a plan to find Wrath's location, but there's a catch. I need a massive amount of money to get things moving. Time to see if those dungeon drops are worth anything. Walking into the exchange, I note that this place will eventually become the nation's biggest resource hub. Right now, it's just a high-end gear shop for the elite. The shop is packed with high-tier weapons and armor. I know gear is a huge factor in an awakener's strength. I'm here to act as a middleman and flip some loot for quick cash. I approach the counter, thinking about how selling monster parts is currently my fastest way to get rich. I've got that I'm about to break the economy look in my eyes. It's also currently the fastest way for me to get money. I'm definitely not interested in working a part-time job when I can just kill monsters for profit. I drop a pile of grave-bound fangs onto the counter with a loud clink. It's not much to look at, but for a student, it's a pretty weird thing to be carrying around. The shopkeeper with the glasses looks totally baffled, wondering how a student managed to get his hands on these. He's clearly never seen a low-tier kid with high-level drops before. I just casually tell him a monster dropped them, but the guy is still skeptical. He's acting like I just tried to sell him a bag of rocks. The pink-haired receptionist recognizes them immediately. She's stunned that an E-rank monster like a gravehound actually dropped anything this high quality. The shopkeeper is still being a snob, wondering what value a low-rank drop could possibly have. He's thinking about smelting them down into a staff or grinding them into powder, but he's not impressed. He brags about their VIP system and how he only handles premium goods for distinguished awakeners. He's basically calling my fangs junk to my face. I can tell this guy is desperate for a promotion to supervisor, but hasn't had any big spenders lately. He's frustrated and taking it out on the broke student at his counter. He decides it's better to just pass me off to the newbie receptionist so he doesn't have to deal with what he thinks is useless trash. Little does he know, he's about to miss out on the deal of a lifetime. He tells Miss Lee to handle the rest of the order, acting like he's doing her a favor. She just says, "Yes, sir," while the boss walks away with his nose in the air. The transaction is done, and I get a briefcase with 18,000 credits. It's enough to cover my rent, but I'm not done with my shopping spree yet. I check the cash, looking satisfied. This is just the beginning. I've got way more valuable stuff hidden in my inventory. I reach into my void inventory and pull out a glowing purple energy. I ask Miss Lee to appraise one more thing for me, and the vibe in the room changes instantly. With a flourish, I pull out a massive glowing purple greatsword that radiates pure power. The receptionist can barely keep her eyes open from the sheer intensity of the aura. Miss Lee is completely stunned, her eyes wide as she looks at the cool greatsword. She's never seen anything like it, and she's a pro in a high-end exchange. She thinks it's at least B rank, maybe even A rank. She's panicking because a weapon like this could be worth a fortune. The snobby shopkeeper comes rushing back, laughing at the idea of an A rank weapon. He brags that A ranks sell for over $1 million and claims he's never even encountered one in person. Suddenly, a tall, blue-haired guy in a sharp suit steps into the room. He tells the shopkeeper he's right, that equipment definitely isn't A rank or B rank. The shopkeeper is all smiles, thinking his boss is agreeing with him. He thinks he knew it, and wonders how a broke student could bring anything valuable. He's really digging that hole deeper. But then the boss drops the bomb. It's an S rank piece of equipment. The whole room goes dead silent as the truth finally hits. The shopkeeper's face literally melts in shock as he screams, asking if it's an S rank. He looks like he's about to pass out from the pure embarrassment of calling an S rank item junk. The big boss immediately clasps my hand in a firm handshake, declaring that they are honored to be graced with my patronage. Talk about a 180-degree turn in attitude. The guy is laughing and practically worshipping me now, while the shopkeeper in the background looks like he wants to disappear into the floor. The blue-haired leader invites me to follow him to the VIP lounge, offering me whatever I need. I'm finally getting the respect I deserve. I give a small, knowing smile. He finally showed himself. I knew bringing out the big guns would lure out the person actually in charge. It's Ching Ji, the Mithril Guild leader. He looks sharp, professional, and very interested in the student who just walked in with an S-rank sword. This partnership is about to get very profitable. I find myself in the high-end VIP lounge with a cup of premium tea being served. It's a complete shift from the dusty training grounds. Some serious business is about to go down. Ching Ji is sitting across from me, looking like a total pro. He gets straight to the point and asks exactly how much I intend to sell that S-rank piece of equipment for. I don't even blink and just drop a cool 1 million. For an S-rank item, that sounds like a total steal, and the shopkeeper in the back is probably losing his mind. Ching Ji looks genuinely stunned, leaning forward with a surprised expression. He tells me that I'm only asking for 1 million, which is basically pocket change for gear this rare. He explains that even A-rank gear fetches millions, so an S-rank weapon would pull in tens of millions at the very least. He warns that a treasure like this could literally cause a crowd stampede just to get a look at it. But I'm 3 steps ahead of him. I clarify that I don't want to sell it. I want to use it as collateral for a loan of 1 million, which I promise to pay back in just 1 month. Ching Ji is looking at me with a whole new level of respect. He realizes that using an S-rank weapon to secure a loan isn't something a typical university student would ever think about doing. It's clear I have no intention of actually parting with this sword. I'm much wiser than my age suggests, and I know exactly how to use a treasure without losing it forever. I calmly sip my tea while Ching Ji tries to figure me out. Am I a rich kid who ran away from home, or a hidden prodigy hiding my true strength? Either way, he knows he's not dealing with an ordinary guy. I double down on the confidence, telling the guild leader I'll repay the principal plus a 10% interest rate in just 1 month. That's a bold claim, but I've got the main character gaze to back it up. Ching Ji asks his assistant, Xiao Li, to step outside for a moment. Things are getting serious, and he wants a private chat with the mysterious student who just walked into his shop. He mentions the school I attend, National Awakener University. He's been doing some math in his head, and he thinks he's figured out where that million is going to come from. He smirks, noting that the seniors at my university are about to graduate. He's definitely pieced together the timing of the upcoming graduation combat exam. Ching Ji points out that the graduation exam has a prize of exactly 1 million for first place. It lines up perfectly with my proposed loan repayment date, which is basically an admission that I plan on winning. He leans in with a sharp look, asking if he's guessed correctly. He wants to know if I'm actually confident enough to bet an S-rank sword on taking first place in the entire school. I just sit there in silence, my eyes glowing with that intense red light. I don't even need to say yes, my presence alone tells him everything he needs to know. Ching Ji notes that I must be in desperate need of money to turn to such a risky last resort option. He's impressed by the guts it takes to offer up such a rare item as collateral for a loan. He gives a knowing smile, deciding that he's seen enough to make a decision. He says that if that's the case, he's clearly about to make an offer I can't refuse. Instead of just 1 million, he offers 1.5 million in cash on the spot. Plus, he's giving it with 0 interest for a whole month. This guy is definitely playing the long game. He tells me to consider this the start of a friendship between us. He's smart enough to know that a student with S-rank gear is someone you want to be on good terms with before they become a legend. I look slightly surprised by the generous terms. I'm used to the world being much colder, so a fair deal like this is a rare change of pace for me. Ji assures me that everything discussed will stay strictly confidential. He also asks that if I ever need more trading in the future, I consider Mithril my first choice. Now that's a boss move. He's impressive for inferring my situation so quickly. Instead of taking advantage of me, he offered better terms to build a long-term partnership. We seal the deal with a firm handshake. I know that to eliminate Wrath, I can't just rely on my own strength. I need powerful allies I can actually trust. This handshake is a turning point for my mission. This money is the fuel I need to start hunting down the source of the coming apocalypse. The deal is officially done. I've secured my funds and a powerful new ally, all while keeping my most valuable weapon in the family. A golden magic circle erupts around my hand as the contract is finalized. I can literally see the buzz of the mana as the magical agreement binds us both. A notification pops up on my phone instantly. A massive 500,000 credits have been transferred to my account. I look pretty satisfied with the result. Ji wonders what I'm going to use for the graduation exam now that my S-rank blade is locked up as collateral. He's genuinely curious about my backup plan. He offers to lend me some high-tier A or B rank equipment from the shop since they don't have any S-rank stuff in stock. He's really trying to go the extra mile to stay in my good graces. I tell him there's no need as I reach into my storage and pull out another glowing purple blade. I've still got another weapon, just like the one I gave up. The flex is absolutely unreal. The shopkeeper and the receptionist are having a total mental breakdown in the background. They're literally screaming in censored terror because the broke student just pulled out a second S-rank sword like it's a spare house key. As I walk out, the entire staff is bowing to me. They're realizing that they just witnessed someone who is going to be a major player in the world of Awakeners very soon. Ji waves me off with a smile, having already promoted Xiaoli to supervisor for her role in helping such an important client. He's definitely feeling good about this investment. I stand outside, looking thoughtful as the sun starts to dip. I still need to buy something else before I'm truly ready for the next phase. Oh, that's right. I look determined. I've got the cash, I've got the gear, and now I'm ready to handle my personal business. I catch a taxi, heading off to my next destination. I'm a man on a mission, and I'm not wasting a single second of my second chance. I arrive at the Kanching County long-distance bus terminal. I'm meeting someone important who's just arriving in town. I start reflecting on my past life, where my family struggled financially for a long time. It's a somber reminder of why I'm working so hard to change the future this time around. Back then, I graduated without even awakening, so no guild would even give me the time of day. I was basically invisible to the world of elites I'm currently dominating. I see a flashback of myself working a delivery job in the rain, looking exhausted and stressed about being on time. This was the reality I fought through just to survive. I remember how my sister Yanni and I had to live incredibly frugally. Even after paying rent, our bank balance was sitting at a pathetic $105.60. Talk about a struggle. I look at an old acceptance letter for Sai Yoon from the International Central Art Institute. This was her dream, but the cost was just too much for us to bear. In the flashback, she looks heartbroken while holding the letter, saying it's just too far away. She was hiding her pain because she didn't want to make things harder for me. She ended up ripping the letter to pieces, deciding to stay near me instead of pursuing her talent. It's a tragic glimpse into the sacrifices she made for our family. My heart breaks as I remember her giving up on her dream school just because she was worried about being a financial burden. I'm never going to let that happen again. Back in the present, I'm checking my watch at the bus terminal. Yanni should have been here by now, and I'm starting to get a little bit anxious about the reunion. Suddenly, a loud shout of "bro" cuts through my thoughts. I look over, and the surprise must be clear on my face as I hear the most important voice in my life. She shouts for her bro, asking how many times she's told me, as I see her sneakers on the pavement. She's already scolding me for waiting at the entrance instead of the exit typical sibling energy. It's Siyun, looking healthy, vibrant, and very alive. She's dragging her suitcase along with a big smile, mentioning how we're broke again after paying rent, but she doesn't seem to care as long as we're together. I'm frozen, staring at her with wide eyes. To her, it's only been a few days, but for me, it's been 7 years since I've seen her standing right in front of me. 7 years. The weight of all those years of grief and regret is finally starting to lift as I see her face again. She waves her hand in front of my face, asking why I'm just standing there like a dummy. She has no idea that she's currently looking at someone who has literally crossed time to save her. She asks again for her big bro, looking genuinely confused by my reaction. She's probably expecting a hug or a helping hand with her luggage, not this intense staring match. I pull her into a massive, desperate hug with a rush of motion. I'm holding on like I'm afraid she'll vanish if I let go, and I'm pouring all my love into this one moment. She's completely stunned, her eyes wide as she lets out a surprised sound. She's definitely not used to her cool, stoic brother being this emotional in public. It's been 7 years, I think, emphasizing the pure relief I'm feeling. I'm finally holding the person I lost everything to protect. I close my eyes, a small, genuine smile on my face. How long has it been since I've been able to see her, Yanni? I savor the moment I thought would never happen again. But the emotional moment is cut short as she starts gagging. She wheezes, asking if her bro is trying to choke her to death, struggling to breathe under my tightened grip. She gives me a quick jab in the ribs to get me to back off. She scolds me, saying I've been acting really weird for the last couple of days. She playfully asks if I got rejected by a girl or something while taking her bags back. I just give a small, "No, I didn't," with a nostalgic smile, enjoying her teasing. We start heading home together, with Yanni rambling on about her crazy bus ride. We look like a perfectly normal pair of siblings, but one of us is secretly a time-traveling god. I watch her walk, a look of pure protectiveness in my eyes. This time around, the future is going to be very different for both of us. I won't let her suffer anymore. This is the ultimate vow of my second life. I'm ready to take on the whole world and every demon king in it to keep her smiling. We turn into a dark, narrow alleyway, the path I always take to get home. It looks quiet, but there's a definite sense of danger lurking in the shadows. Chiang D and a whole group of masked thugs are waiting. He points down the path, telling his guys to hide and jump me the moment I show up. Talk about a coward move. The bully has a truly demonic look on his face, a cigarette dangling from his mouth as he laughs. He says he'll make sure I learn what happens when you mess with him. Yeah, okay buddy, you have no idea who's coming down that alley. Stay tuned for the next part. I'm absolutely done playing games, staring into the middle distance with a cold, terrifying intensity. I warn the bullies to never bother me again, making it clear that my patience has officially reached zero. Down in a dark alleyway, one of the goons is starting to sweat bullets. He asks his boss what they should do if things go too far, but he's holding a wooden practice sword like he's actually ready for a fight. Chiang D just smirks while puffing on a cigarette, acting like the big man on campus. He claims he was only going to teach me a little lesson, but you can tell the loser's new attitude is really getting under his skin. The masked thugs are ready for blood, vowing to destroy me so badly I won't even make it to graduation in 2 weeks. These guys are way too confident for people about to get dismantled by a time traveler. Chiang D pulls out a combat knife, his face contorted in a psychotic grin as the system identifies him as a D-rank cloud assassin. He's ready to jump me, calling me a poser piece of trash before the fight even begins. The scene shifts back to me and my sister Si-yoon walking home under a clear sky. She's already scolding me, telling me I'd been acting pretty weird for the last couple of days. Si-yoon keeps lecturing me, calling me a simpleton who doesn't usually get caught up in his emotions. Little does she know, I've lived through an entire apocalypse since the last time we spoke. She sips on her drink with a skeptical look, asking if I'm just stressed out over the graduation exam. She's trying to be supportive, but she's way off base with this one. She quotes my own advice back to me about life being a long journey and chances coming eventually. It's a sweet moment that shows how much she looks up to me, even as she acts like a brat. An overhead shot shows us walking through the city while a song lyric about believing in yourself floats through the air. The peaceful atmosphere is about to be shattered in roughly 10 seconds. Si-yoon gives me the side eye, convinced I'm just acting tough because of my male pride. She's perceptive, but even she can't guess that her brother is currently a high-tier monster in a school uniform. I give a small, knowing smile, realizing she's noticed a change in me even if she can't place it. I know she still thinks we're just regular, broke students, and I'm happy to keep it that way for now. The bullies are peeking from the shadows of an alley, noticing that I'm not alone. One thug whispers that I've got a girl with me, making the situation 10 times more dangerous. Si-yoon is still rambling on, telling me I look like I'm getting old. She's completely oblivious to the fact that we're currently being hunted by a pack of assassins. Chiang D and his masked goons watch from the darkness, looking like total cowards. They're waiting for the perfect moment to jump me, and they don't care about collateral damage. Chiang D starts laughing like a maniac, realizing this alleyway has no cameras. He thinks this is his lucky day, but he's about to find out it's actually the worst day of his entire life. My eyes flare red as I catch a scent in the air. It's the student council guys. They've got a lot of nerve following me home. The look on my face says it all. I'm not scared. I'm just disappointed I have to take out the trash in front of my sister. This is about to be a very one-sided slaughter. I reach into my pocket and pop open my earphone case with a calm motion. I'm getting ready to tune out the world while I go to work. I gently place an earbud in Si-yoon's ear, making sure she's distracted. I'm protecting her peace of mind while I prepare to break some bones. I tell her I've been into this song lately and ask her to listen. She looks surprised that her simpleton brother has actually started listening to music. Si-yoon closes her eyes and smiles, losing herself in the melody. She thinks it's a sweet gesture, having zero clue about the ambush happening right behind her. I lean in close, my expression soft for just a moment. Music can show a person's mental state, and I want her to be as far away from my current mental state as possible. Suddenly, I spin around with a determined look, dropping my bag as the thugs rush in. I'm ready to end this quickly before the chorus of the song even hits. The song lyrics scroll down the screen, the sky shatters into an echo of goodbyes. It's the perfect, dramatic backdrop for the absolute beatdown that's about to commence. Chiang D leads the charge, flanked by several E-rank thugs. He looks like he's going for a cinematic kill, but he's basically just running toward a meat grinder. The goons lunge forward with pipes and sticks, their shadows stretching across the alley. The contrast between the peaceful lyrics and the charging thugs is top-tier drama. My face is crackling with intense yellow lightning as I lose my cool. I'm furious that these nobodies are trying to ruin the first reunion I've had with my family in 7 years. Lightning arcs across the screen as I remember the pain of losing her in my past life. I'm not just fighting bullies anymore, I'm fighting for the future I already lost once. The thugs leap through the air screaming, but I roar back, "How dare you come and ruin this moment?" The pure killing intent I'm putting off is enough to freeze most people in their tracks. With a slam, my fist connects with the first thug's face with enough force to shatter concrete. Impact lines and red sparks fill the panel as his head is driven straight into the pavement. A thug gets sent spinning through the air like a rag doll while another masked goon watches in pure terror. I'm moving way too fast for them to even react. The contrast here is wild. Si-yoon is standing there peacefully listening to her music while I'm literally punching a man through a stone wall right next to her. She doesn't hear a thing, just like I planned. Another goon gets caught in my grip, letting out a panicked yell. He realized too late that they brought sticks to a lightning god fight. I'm a blur of motion, landing 3 massive hits on 3 different guys simultaneously. I'm dismantling the group with surgical precision and zero mercy. The lyrics. A magnificent star shoots across the galaxy, play out as I deliver a brutal aerial strike. I'm making this look like a choreographed dance of destruction. One of the larger goons tries to throw a massive punch, but he's way too slow. I just stare at his incoming arm like it's a fly I'm about to swat. I reach out my hand, lightning arcing between my fingers as I catch the giant's arm mid-swing. The song continues. I reach my hand out towards fate. With a loud crack, I effortlessly snap the guy's arm with a single twist. The sound is highlighted in giant red letters, and you can practically feel the bone-shattering force behind it. The big guy lets out a blood-curdling scream, tears flying from his eyes as he clutches his mangled arm. He's finding out the hard way that I'm definitely not just an E-ranker anymore. I follow up immediately with a lightning-charged punch straight to his jaw. The impact sends teeth and blood flying everywhere, ending the fight for that thug instantly. A massive explosion of dust and debris erupts as the goon is launched into the ground. I'm putting out an insane amount of raw power without even breaking a sweat. The lyrics say, "I'll give everything I have to protect that fragile star," as we see my silhouette through the smoke. I'm the ultimate guardian. I stand there crackling with electricity, looking like a monster from a nightmare. One of the surviving thugs is trembling, asking how I can be this strong. Chiang D is finally starting to panic, his eyes wide behind his mask. He realizes he stepped into a trap of his own making, screaming and wondering, what the hell is up with that guy? I wind up a massive, glowing fist, my knuckles already covered in blood. Chiang D is frozen in the background, looking like he's about to pee his pants. I throw a heavy punch that creates a massive shockwave, closing the gap between us in an instant. The speed is so high it's literally warping the air around us. With a loud bam, my fist connects with Chiang D's chest, sending him flying backward. He didn't even try to dodge, he was just overwhelmed by the sheer pressure. Chiang D grits his teeth, trying to maintain his ego even though he's getting wrecked. He screams that he's the strongest cloud-type assassin, but he sounds more like a desperate child than a threat. He goes full psycho mode, pulling out his knife and lunging back at me with a scream, asking if I think he can't beat me. Big talk for someone who's barely landing hits. I dodge the knife strike by an inch and deliver a point-blank lightning blast to his face. The knife goes flying as his head is engulfed in sparks. He's sent tumbling through the air after a brutal kick to the ribs. I'm tossing him around like a hacky sack, completely unable to mount a defense. I catch up to him in midair, landing another heavy strike that creates a loud thwack. I'm not giving him a single second to breathe or regroup. I start pummeling his face with a barrage of punches, looking completely merciless. Blood and sweat are flying everywhere as I systematically break him down. His face is a complete mess of blood and bruises as I deliver one last devastating blow. He looks like he's about to pass out, his strongest assassin title looking like a total joke. With a loud boom, I smash Chiang D into the concrete with enough force to create a crater. The final impact is massive, officially ending the ambush once and for all. I stand over his broken body, looking completely bored. I coldly remind him that I clearly told him to never bother me ever again. Through my glowing red eyes, I see a terrified, whimpering Chiang D. It's a chilling view that shows exactly how a predator looks at its prey. I lean in close, my face half shadowed by lightning as I ask, What part of that did you not understand? King D is having a total meltdown while lying in a crater. I can tell all his ribs are broken and his legs are completely numb. He's finally accepting that my rank assessment was the real deal and that I'm definitely way beyond just a D rank. The bully is a bloody mess, coughing up fluid and stammering out a pathetic, sorry. He's crying like a baby now that he realized he picked a fight with a literal monster in a school uniform. I have him pinned, a jagged knife right to his throat, with zero emotion on my face. I give him the ultimate, shut up or die. Warning, if he makes even a single sound, he's finished. He's staring at the blade with wide, trembling eyes, realizing that I'm not just acting. I really will kill him without a second thought. The fear is so intense, you can practically smell it through the screen. I must look like a demon against the blood-red backdrop. Chiang D is probably wondering what the hell I've been through. He can't wrap his head around how a student can possess such a bone-chilling killing intent. A close-up of my glowing red eye shows I mean business. I tell him to remember every single word I'm about to say. He's going to be hearing this in his nightmares for the next decade. I tell the whole group they can rot for all I care, but I make it crystal clear, never bother me again. I drop the hammer on the most important rule. Don't you ever dare to even appear in front of my sister. With a slice, I give a tiny cut with the blade just to show how easy it would be to finish the job. I promise to make each and every one of them disappear permanently if they step out of line again. Got it? The red text pops up like a final boss prompt as I stare into the bully's soul. It's the kind of glare that makes your heart stop, and Chiang D is definitely feeling the pressure. He's nodding like his life depends on it, which it actually does at this point. He's covered in blood and tears, totally broken and ready to agree to literally anything just to stay alive. I drop the knife and just casually walk away, leaving him slumped against the wall like a discarded toy. The strongest student council officer just got humbled by the guy he called a loser. The scene fades to white as some emotional song lyrics start to scroll by, talking about the sky returning to its cycle. It's a huge tonal shift from the brutal alleyway beatdown I just witnessed. A close-up on Si-yoon as she listens to her music, totally oblivious to the carnage that just happened behind her back. She thinks the song feels so lonely, which is pretty ironic considering she's with her overprotective brother. She wonders why the song feels like it's describing a shadow being nowhere to be seen. She's deep in her feelings while I'm literally wiping blood off my knuckles nearby. Si-yoon looks genuinely sad, her eyes watering up as she says the music makes her want to cry. She's way more sensitive than she lets on, and the melody is clearly hitting a nerve. She watches me, thinking it's only been a few days, but I feel like someone who has lived a whole lifetime of pain. She can't figure out why I feel so lonely when she's standing right there next to me. She finally snaps me out of it, shouting for her big bro and asking if I'm taking some joke a little too far. She's trying to lighten the mood after feeling that heavy main character aura I was putting off. I change gears instantly, pulling out a gift box and telling Yanni I got this for her. I'm going back to being the doting brother, trying to buy back a piece of the childhood she lost in my previous life. I give her a warm, genuine smile as I present the gift. It's a golden pen, and I've been waiting a long time to be able to give her something this nice. Yanni's jaw drops when she sees it's a magic holographic pen from Drag Co., the latest high-tech art tool. Her eyes are literally sparkling as she realizes she's holding her dream equipment. But the excitement quickly turns to worry as she realizes this thing costs over 10 grand. She demands to know where I got that kind of money, but I just keep my cool and don't reveal my secret guild deals. She looks at the pen sadly, saying we should probably return it because it's way too expensive for us. She's trying to be the responsible one, but it's heartbreaking to see her try to give up on something she clearly loves. I clench my bloodied fist behind my back, hidden from her view. I'm haunted by the memory of failing to protect her in my past life and vow that things will be different this time around. A split screen shows the thugs in the alley groaning for an ambulance, while Yanni looks at her gift. It's a brutal reminder of the violent path I'm walking to provide for my family. I'll protect everything about her. The text says it all as my determined expression is shown. I'm not just a brother anymore, I'm a guardian deity who's willing to burn the world down for her. Si-yoon finally starts using the pen, drawing a glowing pink line in the air. It's a beautiful, magical moment that shows the talent she had to hide away in our previous life. She's created a glowing holographic fish that's actually swimming around the room. She's totally blown away that it works, and seeing her happy makes every punch I threw in that alley worth it. Later at home, I'm happily inhaling a bowl of noodles. Yanni's fried egg noodles are seriously the best thing on the planet. Yanni isn't letting me off the hook though, lecturing me about paying rent while I'm throwing money away on gifts. She's got that classic responsible sibling attitude, totally unaware we're actually rich now. I drop the mic, casually mentioning that I've already paid this year's rent in full. Yanni's brain just stops working as she lets out a shocked sound that you can practically hear. I rub the back of my head with a goofy grin, lying through my teeth about starting a small business with a friend. I'm doing the classic hidden master move, keeping my dungeon raiding life a total secret. Yanni isn't buying it, telling me I suck at lying and calling me way too sus. We have that perfect sibling dynamic, even if one of us is secretly an S-rank monster slayer. A close-up of Yanni shows she's actually really happy despite her nagging. She thinks to herself that it's been ages since she's seen such a happy, relaxed smile on my face. I give a genuine, bright smile that we haven't seen since the beginning. I'm finally finding a bit of peace in this crazy new life I've built for us. I rest my hand on the table, looking totally grounded in content. For a second, I'm not a warrior or an assassin. I'm just a guy having a nice dinner with his sister. Yanni puts her hand on my shoulder, giving me some advice to not push myself too hard. She cares about me more than anything, and you can see the deep bond we share. I just give a simple affirmation with a soft look in my eyes. I'm satisfied with how things are going, but I know the real battle is still ahead of me. The scene shifts to a fancy aquarium where we find out the aftermath of the alley fight. Chiang D has over 60% of his body fractured. The dude got absolutely dismantled by me. Gong Ting is staring at the fish, looking totally stunned. He can't believe that his top lackey actually tried to pick a fight with me and ended up in a body cast. I can see his reflection in the glass, and he looks like he's having a serious identity crisis. Realizing there's someone in the school who can beat a D ranker into that state is a massive wake-up call. Lin Yu is casually sitting in a chair, mentioning that Chiang D is definitely going to miss the graduation exam now. She's totally unfazed by the violence, which is a bit concerning to say the least. Gong Ting turns away with a cold look, saying it doesn't matter and that his team will be better off without any deadweights. Talk about being a ruthless leader. He's already replaced his friend without a second thought. Footsteps echo as someone approaches the elite duo in the aquarium room. You can feel the formal, high-stakes atmosphere of the university's upper management. It's Gong Xuan, the university's director of career services. He looks sharp and serious, exactly like the kind of guy who manages the school's most promising talents. He confirms the internal results. I'm officially ranked as a C rank. This is absolute insanity for a student, and it completely flips the school's hierarchy upside down. Gong Xuan drops the real bomb. I am currently the only student in the entire school with a higher rank than Gong Ting. The king of the school just got knocked down to second place. Gong Ting's eyes narrow as he takes the news, looking like he's about to explode. His elite pride is taking a massive beating right now, and you can tell he's not going to take this sitting down. The director mentions that Gong Ting's father has invited a big shot from the Alliance to watch his graduation performance. He warns him not to let anyone, especially me, steal the limelight. He warns that if Gong Ting fails to impress, their family's reputation will be in serious trouble. The pressure is officially on, and the graduation exam just became a personal grudge match. Gong Xuan asks his niece, Ling Yu, to step up and fill the empty spot on the president's team. It's a power move to make sure they have the strongest squad possible for the final test. Ling Yu just smirks, telling her uncle he's overthinking things. She's got that "I have a secret plan" vibe going on, and she's clearly enjoying the chaos I'm causing. Gong Ting is looking absolutely murderous as he talks to the director. He asks if they really think he was using his full power during the ranking assessment classic villain. I was holding back. Energy. A close-up of his cold, golden eyes shows him vowing to prove who the actual strongest student is. He's got some hidden abilities of his own, and he's ready to unleash them in the final exam. He promises to make sure everyone knows the truth on the day of the combat examination. It's a direct declaration of war against me, and the tension is peaking. Gong Ting looks like a predator waiting to strike, standing by the aquarium with a look of pure determination. He's not going to let a loser like me take his crown without a fight. Back at the dorms, I'm fresh out of the shower after completing a brutal 100-kilometer run with weights. I never stop grinding, even when I'm already the strongest guy in school. It's 11:30 p.m., and I'm already preparing for my next training session while everyone else is asleep. This is that rise and grind mentality taken to a whole new level. I dry my hair, thinking that since the money situation is handled, everything is going according to plan. I'm ready to start my real mission as soon as graduation is over. My next goal is to win that 1 million yuan prize money from the graduation exam and pay back my loan to the Mithril Guild. I'm a man of my word, even when I'm planning to save the world. I know I'll need more help from Qingji in the future, so honoring our agreement is my top priority. I'm building a network of allies that will actually be able to stand against the coming darkness. I lie in my bunk, noting there's less than a month left before the big exam. I look totally calm, like I've already won the fight in my head. I decide I need to level up a few more times to be 100% sure of my victory. I close my eyes and prepare to dive back into the Gluttony system's special training ground. The system starts initializing with a sleek, red loading bar. This is where the real magic happens, far away from any school rules or teachers. The Gluttony system initiate is finished. I'm back in the subdimension, ready to consume more power and push my stats to the absolute limit. I manifest in the sea of blood, staring up at that terrifying, jagged tower. It's a nightmare landscape, but for me, it's just another day at the office. I stand at the base of the massive staircase leading into the tower. I look like a tiny speck against the colossal architecture, but my determination is massive. I remember that my weakest class, the Gravehound King, already registered as a C rank. This just shows how cracked my build actually is compared to regular students. But my strongest class, the Abyssal Fiend, wouldn't even register on the school's machine. It's so powerful it literally broke the technology, which is a major flex. The official rank of my best class is still a mystery because it exceeded the system's maximum bounds. I'm basically a walking cheat code that the world hasn't figured out yet. I know the Abyssal Fiend is S rank, but I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of its full potential. I'm unsure exactly how much power is still locked away inside that class. I look at my character cards, noting that the exact ranks for my 2 remaining classes are still unknown. I've got so much untapped potential it's actually scary. I pull out the Golden Time Rift Key I won from the boss. It's an SSS rank item that pulses with a warm, ancient light in my hand. A massive rumble shakes the dimension as I use the key on a floating magical lock. I'm about to open the door to the Tower of Darkness, and things are about to get crazy. A giant purple portal erupts in the sky, and another rumble sound fills the air. I'm ready to put my strength to the test and see what's actually inside that tower. I stare into the swirling energy, wondering what kind of nightmare scene is waiting for me on the other side. I'm not scared, I'm actually looking forward to the challenge. I'm sucked into the purple light with a rush of air, my silhouette disappearing as the portal consumes me. I've officially entered the next level of the Tower of Darkness. I manifest inside and am immediately hit with shock. My eyes are wide as I take in the view, letting out a stunned sound as I realize what this place is. I find myself in a new, alien landscape called the Fallen Star Wastes. It looks like a barren moon surface under a swirling galaxy, with a massive purple energy beam shooting into the sky. The moment I land, the gravity hits me like a freight train, pinning me to the ground with a heavy groan. I can barely keep myself from being crushed into the dirt by the sheer weight of the atmosphere. I look around in total shock, gasping for air as I realize the rules of this floor are completely different. This isn't just a combat test anymore, it's a test of pure survival against the environment. I grit my teeth, sweat pouring down my face as I realize the gravity here is insanely exaggerated. Every movement feels like I'm trying to walk through thick sludge while carrying a mountain on my back. The system confirms my nightmare. The surface gravity of the Fallen Star Wastes is roughly 10 G. That's 10 times the normal weight of my body pressing down on my internal organs and bones at every second. To make matters worse, the door I came through has completely vanished, trapping me in this high-gravity hellhole. I realize I can only unleash 30% of my strength at most, and need to adapt before the boss finds me. I stand alone in the middle of the crater, a tiny speck against the backdrop of a colossal purple structure. I'm already in a race against time to figure out how to move effectively in 10G gravity. I need to adapt to this place as quickly as possible. If a monster shows up now while I'm this inhibited, I'm basically a sitting duck. Speak of the devil. A B-rank star warrior called the Phantom Lion manifests out of the purple mist. It's a massive, glowing, spectral cat with glowing blue eyes, and it definitely looks like it doesn't mind the gravity one bit. I don't hesitate and immediately start class switching, my hand crackling with yellow lightning. I'm breathing hard, but I know I can't fight a B-rank monster while pinned to the floor. The transition is complete, and I enter my level 10 lightning assassin form. My stats are boosted, but I'm still struggling to stay upright under the crushing weight of the Star Wastes. A digital loading bar flashes as I switch classes. I'm trying to find a class that can handle this environmental debuff. The Phantom Lion doesn't wait for me to get ready and lunges forward with a terrifying roar. I draw my glowing daggers, ready to meet the beast mid-air. We collide in a shower of sparks and purple energy. I'm using every ounce of my agility, but I can tell the 10G gravity is making me move way slower than usual. My body feels so heavy, I grunt, barely dodging a swipe from the lion's spectral claws. I know I need to end this fight instantly, or my stamina will bottom out in minutes. Big mistake. My vital hit and paralysis both fail. The MISS notification pops up as the lion shrugs off my lightning attack like it was a tickle. My eyes go wide as I realize my go-to tactics are useless here. The gravity is messing with my precision so badly that I can't even land a proper stun. The Phantom Lion pins me down, letting out a ferocious roar right in my face. Without my speed and precision, the assassin class has lost almost all its advantages in this environment. The beast prepares to finish me off, looking completely at ease in the high gravity. I'm stuck on the defensive, realizing I'm severely outmatched to my current form. The lion leaps again, its massive spectral body glowing with a menacing purple aura. I'm just barely holding on, my mind frantically searching for a counterplay. Is this really the standard strength level for the monsters inside the Purgatory Magic Tower? If a mob is this tough, I'm in serious trouble for the floors ahead. I decide to switch to Purgatory Rakshasa, triggering another class change. I need a tanky, high-strength class to counteract the weight of the wastes. The system pulls up the S-rank Purgatory Rakshasa card, showing off some massive bonuses. This class specializes in absorbing stamina and manipulating gravity. It's the perfect hard counter for this floor. Close quarters combat must rely on the warrior class with its high strength and stamina bonuses. I'm essentially swapping my surgical tools for a sledgehammer. My new form looks absolutely beastly, with purple flames erupting from my shoulders. I catch the lion's paw with my bare hand, proving that the strength boost is the real deal. I prepare a devastating downward strike, the ground beneath me cracking from the pressure. I'm stacking gravity to the max, turning the environmental debuff into a massive weapon. Power levels start screaming past 600% as the pink energy swirls around my fist. I'm about to hit this lion into the next dimension. Gravity is stacking to the limit. The downward force is being amplified exponentially, making my arm look like a glowing pillar of pure kinetic energy. The power of my punch is amplified by a full 60 times. I let out a roar of my own as I prepare to release all that built-up gravitational force. The phantom lion realizes it messed with the wrong human, its eyes going wide with pure terror. It tries to back off, but it's far too late to escape the blast zone. With a loud boom, I slam my fist down, a massive pillar of pink light erupting from the impact. The phantom lion is caught right in the center of the explosion, getting absolutely vaporized. I yell, "Don't even think about stopping me," as the super heavy mode shockwave shatters the surrounding landscape. The level of destruction I just unleashed is on a whole different level. The dust settles, and I'm left panting, my hands shaking from the exertion. I'm covered in blood and grime, but I'm still standing. I stand in the center of a massive, cracked crater, having earned a whopping 12,000 EXP. I also looted a phantom lion bone, which I'm sure is worth a fortune. A golden light washes over me as I hit level 11. I'm sweating and exhausted, but the constant level ups are the only thing keeping me going in this nightmare. The system compares my classes. The Purgatory Rakshasa has a higher amplification than the Lightning Assassin. It's officially my heavy-hitting S-rank powerhouse now. Every star on the card represents a stat multiplier. The more stars you've got, the more insane you become after a class change. I realize that both of my current high-tier classes haven't broken through the B-rank limit yet. I've reached a plateau and need some serious juice to push into the A-tier. Something weird is happening though. The system didn't show the devourable mark on the dead lion. I've killed plenty of things, but for some reason, I can't eat this one. I wipe the sweat from my brow, looking around the desolate wastes with a suspicious gaze. Speaking of which, I mutter, feeling like something is missing. The gate to the next floor is already visible in the distance, but the vibe is all wrong. It's too quiet after such a major fight. Could it be? I think, my eyes narrowing as I look up at the sky. A terrifying thought is starting to take root in my mind. A massive, swirling black void opens up in the sky above me, looking like a literal black hole. It's radiating an ominous energy that makes the gravity feel even heavier. Multiple pairs of glowing yellow eyes start peering out from the darkness of the void. This isn't just one monster, it's an entire army of predators. I'm sweating bullets. The real lord of this floor hasn't even shown up yet. The B-rank lion I just killed was apparently just the appetizer. A dozen more phantom lions fall out of the black hole, landing around me with heavy thuds. It hits me with a shock. The one I killed with all my might was just a small mob. I stand my ground as the pride of spectral lions surrounds me, their eyes fixed on my throat. I'm completely outmanned and outgunned, and my daggers aren't going to cut it. The lions attack all at once in a flurry of purple streaks. I'm barely able to block the coordinated strikes, the impact throwing sparks everywhere. Endless pain waits for me once the door into the tower opens. I see silhouettes of myself being torn apart in a sea of blood. It's a grim vision of what's to come. Only at this moment did I understand the true meaning of the Purgatory Rakshasa's words. I'm finally realizing that this tower is designed to break me, not just train me. Another lion lunges at my face with its jaws wide open. I'm being pushed to my absolute limit, both physically and mentally. But you must endure everything. The red text hammers home the brutal reality of my journey. There's no easy way out of this hellscape. I roar back with blood streaming down my face. You must conquer everything. I'm choosing to fight through the pain, fueled by pure, unadulterated willpower. Suddenly, I snap awake in my dorm room, gasping for air and clutching my chest. I wheeze, my eyes wide with the lingering terror of the dream. I can still feel my muscles tearing and my skin separating from my bones. The trauma of my training is physically manifesting in my waking world. I sit on the edge of my bunk, my shadow stretching across the dark dorm room. I'm breathing heavily, trying to distinguish the nightmare from reality. I touch my shoulder, feeling the phantom pain of the lion's claws. The pain in my dreams is all incomparably real. This tower is more than just a training ground. There are no shortcuts to becoming a god-level awakener. If I want to save my world, I have to endure the kind of agony that would kill a normal person. I look more determined than ever, my eyes glowing with a dark fire. This lonely and arduous road of purgatory has only just begun, and I'm ready for every bit of it. The scene shifts to Friday, May 257 at the National Awakener University Grand Auditorium. It's officially the day of the team formation ceremony for the graduation exam. The auditorium is packed with students, looking up at a massive screen that reads, Graduation, Combat, A Assessment Team Formation Ceremony. The energy in the room is electric. Gong Xuan, the Career Services Director, stands at the podium looking stern. He's presiding over the event, ready to announce the rules that will decide everyone's future. The students are buzzing with rumors that higher-ups from the Guild Alliance are coming to watch live. This isn't just an exam anymore, it's the biggest job interview of their lives. A couple of students whisper that it's no wonder the rules changed this year. They realize the stakes have been raised to make a better show for the bigwigs. I look bored as the new rule is announced. Every team must have at least 5 members. This is a massive curveball for anyone who is planning to solo the exam. Another new rule, at least one person on each team must be high E rank or above. People wonder if this is just to improve the entertainment value of the graduation. Gong Xuan announces that all rank information has been sent to our wristbands. He tells everyone to check their stats and finalize their teams as soon as possible. The director lets out a sharp sound to get everyone's attention. He's enjoying the chaos he's about to cause with the updated ranking data. Students are frantically checking their glowing screens, gasping as the new rankings appear. The hierarchy of the school is being rewritten in real time. I get a look at the rank list on a wristband, with Gong Ting obviously sitting at the very top. The rest of the elites fill out the D-ranked tiers below him. Ma Long looks at his screen and lets out a panicked sound, exclaiming that something's wrong. He's staring at a name that shouldn't be at the bottom of the list. The screen shows our roommate squad, Xiang Zuo at mid-E rank, and everyone else, including me, at low E rank. The monster who broke the machine is now officially labeled a bottom-tier loser. Ma Long is freaking out, asking me how on earth I could only be a low E rank. He's genuinely confused after seeing me destroy Gong Cheng and break the assessment core. The other students are whispering, asking if my test didn't show C rank before. They're laughing and wondering how a C rank turned into a low E rank overnight. One student mutters that the demon heart really was broken after all. He's disappointed, admitting he was thinking about teaming up with me until he saw these pathetic results. I stand in the shadows, looking completely unbothered by the insults. This is great. Now surely no one will want to team up with me. I'm satisfied that my true power is hidden once again. The whole auditorium erupts in cruel laughter. Low-level deadweights, that's what they're calling us. And I can hear them whispering about me specifically. That's the guy who rejected Gong Ting's team. They think I'm regretting it to death right now. Gong Ting stares at me with that cold, silent look. He doesn't need to say anything. His eyes say it all. He's feeling pretty vindicated watching me fall to the bottom of the rankings. The guy who rejected him? Now look where I am. From the stage, director Gong Xuan watches the scene with a cold, analytical gaze. He's the one who pulled the strings to change the results, and he's clearly satisfied with how his plan is unfolding. He thinks about his disappointing nephew, wondering when he will learn how to truly utilize power and human nature. He's playing a much deeper game than anyone in this auditorium realizes. Gong Xuan gives a dark, villainous smile as he vows to teach his nephew a lesson. He decides that his opponents won't even have the qualification to compete, setting the stage for a rigged graduation exam.